Hey, everybody! How's everybody doing today? So we are here, and we got most of the usual group here. Joining us today, though, is Dan, the final arbiter. Dan,
Woo!
he's been on
That's
some
me.
of the other things that we've done, videos that we've done. He was on another live stream. So he normally runs a game on Tuesday, but since he's going to North Texas, that got canceled for this evening. So we let him come on and play with the big boys.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
And and I mean by big boys, I mean
No.
us. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean,
I'm a robust man.
all of us total, you know. But and Jason, he's here coming in. He came in at the wire today.
Yep.
Stan is here as usual. Yeah, Ducato. And we got Mike's chair.
That is an excellent chair.
I
That's
mean,
a kick-ass chair. I need one like
arguably might have a better opinion. But so
What are the chair's opinions on 2E?
yeah, let's see what the chair has to say about that. So no, he's in the midst of trying to fix some of his AMS units for his 3D printers, so he's gonna be in and out. But that's okay, But so yeah. Anyway, we are 10 days, 9 days, something, from CNY, which is crazy. Brian Shutter, yeah, nuts. I've got a ton of stuff to do, and I'm still prepping for it. We posted the schedule. We emailed the schedule out and posted it on the Facebook page. VIP badges are sold out. They sold out at some point yesterday, so we just got weekend passes left. It's awesome. So yeah, gonna be a blast. Wow, Edgelord says he sees Dan more than he sees his own son on a weekly basis, and his son lives with him.
I don't know how to respond to that.
I don't either. It sounds sad.
Most of us
For
here
me,
don't know how
Edgelord.
to respond to Edgelord.
Well, Edgelord's going to be at CNY, right?
What's that?
Edgelord's going to be at CNY, right?
He'll be at CNY, yes. Yes. He was going to come Thursday to hang out with us, but he decided that he's got better things to do.
Really?
What an ass.
I was about to ask if we were still doing the Skyrim board game. I will still bring it just in case we get some free time. We'll still set it
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
coming in on
No, I
Thursday,
mean-
and I live outside of Chicago. What the hell? What's his excuse?
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Apparently,
That's
he wants to
crazy.
see his son more. I don't guess.
Yeah, come on. Just ditch your family. It's only one weekend.
What do you think D&D is for?
Yeah.
Who's more important, right? Yeah, no. So that'll be a blast. We'll see. We'll see what he says. And we'll go from there.
Now we all understand. Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that happens.
Edward
So,
their foot down. That's what happened there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I started looking around today. I was like, man, I feel like I've got a lot of stuff in the past week. And literally I found one game, one tiny thin book game. All of the other packages and stuff I got were, I ordered a set of headphones for my wife. There's some stands and stuff for the convention, some paper for stuff for the convention, all the lanyards and the badge holders, and I got a ton of packages in, and none of them are really. I mean, I guess they're gaming adjacent, but I'm not going to show off, clear plastic sleeves on the stream. Nobody wants to see that, but yeah. That's all I got. The only game that I got is a game that I don't know if anybody here is going to be interested in, and I will say, especially Jason.
Oh, good.
Just to get that right out there. Just not your bag, man, not your bag. But I saw this game, and I don't know why, it was just crazy, and it really intrigued me, and I think I need to run it for for like my wife and some of her friends and like the people that work at the bookstore. It's called Thieves of the Tome, and I mean, you can look at the cover to tell that it's something that I look crazy, but you're all a group of people and you steal a book. You each are stealing like a book from like an ancient library or whatever, but everybody brings a book to the table, like not an RPG book, but just any book. They bring it, with them to the table, and then you basically swap books. So you have another book. Well, okay, first, sorry.
Is this like a white elephant kind of thing?
No. It's not permanent. It's not like a permanent swap. But yeah, so the first thing you do is you write down the first 6 chapters of the book, the names of the first 6 chapters of the book, and those are spells. And you write down what those spells do and give that to the GM. So nobody else knows but the person that brought the book what those spells do. And then everybody swaps books. And then there's like a rule for like the name, like you flip through like the first couple pages of the book, and that like you got to like you base your name like based on the author's name, and then you basically have this tome and you're trying to escape this library. And then as you're doing that, you can cast these spells from the book, but you don't know what the spells do until you cast them. If that makes sense. Yeah, I could tell you seem really.
I have nearly fallen asleep just listening to the description of this game. You are
just
correct.
Seems crazy.
This is not a game for me.
No, that's why I led with that. I don't know if this group is really the group for this game.
But I have been wrong before. Just because it's not a game for me doesn't mean that it couldn't be fun.
Yeah,
So,
it just seems
good luck.
It just seems really fun to me to have a book and like, you find a chapter name and it's like, The Fires at Dawn, right? Or something is the name of the chapter. And so you don't know what it's going to do, but you're like, okay, I need to maybe burn something or burn somebody or whatever. So you're just like, okay, I'm going to try and cast the spell. And, you find out that it does something different, than
The
you
Fires at
expected
Dawn
to.
is clearly having very hot Thai food the day before.
True enough.
Yeah, right. You give somebody gas.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's an interesting thing. It's definitely something that is not for everybody. So Edgelord says he's going to bring Paranoia 1st and 2nd edition. That's good because Neon Lords there was talking about playing that and trying to convince me that I would like Paranoia. So maybe you guys can do that stuff. But yeah, anyway, that's it. That's really all I got. We'll talk about some Kickstarter stuff after, but
Good. I was hoping we would.
Nothing that I got in, but stuff that's dropped. Yeah, we'll get to that. I guess Mike's not here. Let's go with Dan. Dan, what do you got? What'd you get in? You got anything good this week or?
Yeah, I got something really cool this morning. It's my new refrigerator. So that's the instruction.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's cool.
No. So actually, I got 3 things. So the first thing, it actually just came in a few hours ago, and I've been waiting for it over a year, was Knock number 5. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, the Kickstarter fulfilled last year, and I got Knock 1 through 4, and 5 got lost in the mail. And then I reported it, and that was like right around when tariffs got kicked in and the French post office stopped delivering packages to America. So it just showed up today.
Wow.
So finally get to open it.
That's awesome.
Number 2 is from our buddy Lord Mattias. Bought that on
yeah.
it just popped up. So I know he's running a few of these at North Texas next week, but not that I'm in those games, but I look forward to slaughtering my friends in Shadow Dark with us.
So he's planning. You gotta kind of rub it in. Ask him about CNY.
I will harass and harangue him about CNY because he's only like
planning on coming
20 minutes away from it. So.
He was talking about going for coming Sunday, just for the day, And then I mentioned to him about doing Conan and the movie, and he's thinking about coming out Friday. So I'm
Matt,
like,
do it.
dude, if you're coming Friday and Sunday,
Yeah.
just do the
Yeah.
weekend, man. And he's
Right.
like, he's in Rochester,
Okay.
or yeah, Rochester, Buffalo, so somewhere out that way. He's only like a couple hours, so it's like, dude, just come out, But yeah, what else? You got one more thing, Dan?
Yeah, so I did like a little zine order on Exalted Funeral when they had their Mayday sale or whatever. So I got for OSE Kalunga Plateau.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And for Swords and Wizardry, I got the Valley Out of Time. So
nice. I have
Dinosaur
Valley
stuff.
Out of Time.
Is it good?
I have Valley Out of Time. I like it. It's
Nice.
good. I haven't ran it, but it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading through it.
Yeah.
It reads well. So
That's cool. The other one looks good too. I'm in for dinosaurs.
yeah, me too. I'm a simple creature.
So yeah, I love that stuff. So yeah, cool stuff. How about you, Jason? You get some stuff in?
I did. So some time ago, I ordered the 15th anniversary of Fallout New Vegas.
Nice.
This is
That's awesome.
Securitron. That's a Securitron.
Yes,
Haha.
his name,
I
but
knew
this
that.
one
No,
in particular. Go ahead, Decado.
No, I was just impressed with Roger that knew what that was.
So this guy's name is actually Yes Man, but I have very mixed feelings on this. I have a ton of.
He's the one that went rogue.
Yes, he's the one that helps you. He pulls you out of the grave
Okay.
at the beginning, and then you can work with him or not really with him later in the game. But I have mixed feelings on this. I have tons of Fallout statues. I've gotten them from different companies. I have a lot from Bethesda, and Bethesda usually does solid cast resin. They're beautiful, sturdy, look great. This guy is not solid. He is not cast. You can see the seam there. I don't like that. It looks cheap to me. So I'm not real happy about this. I can't do jack about it, but not a fan. Still happy I have it. It came with a couple of patches, a pin which I have put in my bag. One of the patches says Mojave Courier, so I'm definitely going to put that in my courier bag. The other patch, I don't know what I'll do with it, because I'm not a patch guy. You've got your vest, but
Yeah.
I don't really. But the courier patch, I will definitely put in my bag because it'll fit perfectly.
Cool.
Glad I have it. Super cool. Love the statue. Just I'm not crazy about the build quality compared to so many of the other very good statues that I have.
Was it priced like a resin statue, and like you thought that, or?
Well, a lot of that depends. There are so many factors for the statues that I have. The size, what brand. The brand makes all the difference in the world. Most of the Fallout statues I have cost about $120. Thereabout. This was, I think, $115. So a little bit less, but not so little that I feel like it made a difference.
Yeah, you would think the quality would be on par. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's falling apart, but I can see and feel the seam here. I'm just not keen on that. But it's cool. It doesn't have as much detail as I thought that it might have. But it's still cool. It's the only one that I have of this model. So it's going up on the shelf. I'm cool. Yeah.
I don't know. I can't comment on this. I don't.
You're right. Actually, I think it is Victor. Victor is the one that's rolling around town working for. I just forgot his name. The old guy in the chamber. Yes Man is the one you find behind the wall that Benny was programming. If you are correct about that. So yes, this is Victor, not Yes Man. Good catch there, Nims. Mm-hmm. Your nerd cred has been validated. Well done.
So wait. So I just want to make sure that everybody knows that means that I was wrong.
No, he's still a Securitron. The model is a Securitron.
Okay. Securitron.
I was wrong.
Securitron. It's just
and it does happen on occasion.
Okay.
I think they made I don't know if they made a miniature hand. I know they have miniatures for the Securitron. I don't know if they have that.
I'm sure the Fallout miniature war game has the Securitrons. I'd be shocked if it didn't.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah,
I don't have any, but I've seen them.
I don't know. That's cool. I know you're into the Fallout minis and stuff. And some of that stuff.
It definitely will not be one of my favorite statues. I've got some awesome Fallout statues and some incredible Assassin's Creed statues too. and other stuff. We'll do show and tell with those sometime.
We'll have to do.
In weeks that I don't have something new, I'll bring over a new statue to show everyone.
There you go.
Because I do like to show off my toys.
There you go.
That's what I got.
Yeah, maybe we can figure that out. Stan, how about you?
I didn't get nothing fun. I got some stuff to set up my booth with at CNY.
You've just been busy. Prepping for CNY. Fantastic. Yep. Mike, I know that Mike, I don't know if you guys follow Mike at all on his socials, I guess, or at least Facebook. I don't know if he's posting it all over the place, but he's been posting some arcade repairs and some stuff like that. What you get anything?
Well, I got about 40 different arcade things this week, but we're not going to get into all that.
No. We'll save that.
They're not exciting either. It's like power supplies and adapters and wiring and nothing exciting.
Yeah, I would love to talk about some of that stuff, but I think we'd lose the audience. There you go.
I got my blacklight, came in yesterday.
There you go. Cool.
RPG wise, that's all I got.
Nice.
Have you looked at it yet, or did you just put it on the shelf?
No, I just put it on the shelf. It came in, I'm sorry, it didn't come yesterday. It came Sunday, which surprised me that it delivered on Sunday. But it was game day, so I literally, it was back on the table here. I threw it on the shelf when we played our game, and that was it. I haven't looked at it yet. We finished up our Delta Green scenario, which was pretty interesting. Stan, have you ever had in Call of Cthulhu? Well, it'd probably be a little different in Call of Cthulhu because you're trying to solve the mystery rather than cover it up. The one guy that I told the story last week that played with the puzzle box and lost, and his character poofed into the ether, he took over the sheriff's deputy and then proceeded to use his radio all the time, every time, and they'd have no problem going in somewhere in public and firing off some rounds. The next thing, panic's going on and people are calling the cops, and it would come over the radio. And of course he would pick the radio up and answer, "Oh, that was just me. I accidentally dropped my weapon and it misfired." And this, and the rest of the guys are like, "Why do you keep calling this shit out on the radio?" So when it all got done and everything was said and done, and they had to figure out how to cover up everything they had done, they had two houses they went to. They had these beings in them, and they killed them. And they were like, "What do we do with them?" So it was winter time, power was out, everything. They decided to let's break the gas line and turn on a pilot flame and let the place blow up. So when it was all said and done, they were like, "How do we cover all this up?" Well, we put a bullet in one of the players' head. The guy that took over the cop, he was now the patsy, and he answered the radio and he was getting involved in everything. So they were like, they put a bullet in his head and left him there with everything else, and kind of staged it to look like he was involved. And they didn't know who the other two were. Everything was on. They were trying to keep it on the down low. So
yeah,
it was an interesting scenario. I told them as we were wrapping it up, I said, before they had done this, I said, when we're all done, I'll share what I would have done if I were a player. And that's exactly what I was going to say, was blame it on the cop. He's going to be the patsy. And no, they came up with it on their own, and they did it. And you should have seen his face as soon as the one guy says, "Yeah, I'm going to step behind him and put a bullet in the back of his head." And he was like, "Oh, that's how it's going down?" He's like, "Yeah, that's how it's going down."
That was what, 5 sessions, 6 sessions?
Well, it was 4 sessions.
4 sessions, okay.
4 sessions. That was the 4th session. It ended that scenario. And the funny part is, no other role-playing game would we even find that acceptable if you went and attacked another player. And
sure.
But it works in Delta Green. It really works, and it fits the story well. And it also happened that his agent died, and he took over the sheriff's deputy that was not part of the program, didn't know about it all, and was just starting to see it all. But he was doing crazy crap, like calling it in on the radio that I got, this crazy stuff going on. And so
yeah, it makes it easy when you got to make a choice. Yeah, we we did. Was it Ethan, Jason, that ran that Call of Cthulhu? No, it wasn't Call of Cthulhu. It was
yes,
Cthulhu Dark or something.
Yeah, the one where my investigator killed himself.
Yeah, it was. I think Harry got ripped in half.
Yeah,
your guy shot himself
stayed
in the
as
head.
the witness or something like that.
And I,
and
I was like, "Hey, I don't want to get killed. I'll work for you now."
Yeah, yeah. I really thought that was the perfect ending. As soon as we started playing, I thought, well, okay, one of us has to die, one of us has to convert, and one of us has to get killed.
Yeah,
and it worked out perfectly like that.
Yeah.
I said, oh, this is perfect. That was a good time.
I even asked him at the end of the night, I said, so how did you feel about that? And he goes, we talk about these games, like especially way back in the day, that we still tell stories about because we, did all this really cool stuff, which doesn't seem to happen anymore. As you get older, groups seem to get less creative and fun, I feel, as they do as when you're teenagers. Yeah, you get goofy when you're a teenager too, but you're also a lot more creative as a teen than you are as an adult. I think people get stuck in certain ways. And he goes, it reminds me of the stories that we tell about when we're playing as teens. He goes, that's one of those things. Anybody asks me about the game, I've got a story to tell now, how it went down. It was perfect, So that works out too, that the player himself was fully on board with it.
Looks like Stan changed his background.
Had to relocate. Holy Christ.
So I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but Victor Gorchev, the guy that made Blacklight, he released in PDF Black Rifles and Dark Alleys, and that's basically his sort of generic modern setting for oh no, that's not it. That's the Kickstarter for
I am excited about that Kickstarter though.
I don't know. Hey, we're not supposed to talk about that yet. Hang on.
Sorry.
You screwed up. Technical difficulties. All right, so we'll get there, Dan. We'll get there. No. So yeah, Black Rifles, Dark Alleys. That's his modern thing. He basically took Blacklight, stripped out all of the
Blacklight.
All the cool stuff, all the cool stuff that made me enjoy it, and put that in. So basically, we got that. I messaged him this too. I messaged him this earlier. He's got there's a section in the book that's called cultural advantages for guns or something like that. And the first thing that popped into my head was like, oh, cool. Like Americans get +2 to rifle usage or something. Right. And then I flipped into the section and it's like, it's about dwarves and elves and like what they like their bonuses. And I was like, oh,
you went a different way with that. Okay.
It's like, oh wait, this isn't what I expected it to be.
You should have things like Ukrainians get +5 to improvised devices, and
that's what I was expecting to see.
Availability in the UK is 25% of the rest of the world. America is triple the availability of the rest of the world.
British people can only use knives.
Africa, you just find them laying on the street. Yeah.
So, but that's out. It's in PDF. I think it's going to go to print. He's got to get a proof copy and all that stuff before that goes through. But it was doing well. It was top 10 on drive-through today.
Excellent.
Earlier. So, which is fantastic. So, more power to him. I love Vic stuff. I bought it. Even though I think I'd rather run Blacklight. I bought it just to support Vic. I like Vic.
Yeah.
I'll support
put it right next to my Blacklight book. No problem.
How does it differ from Modern Necessities for OSE? Like, is it pretty similar or?
It's pretty similar.
Okay.
It's pretty similar except for Shadow Dark.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. I think. I mean, I don't have. Jason has a copy of Modern Necessities. We'll have to do like a compare, but I think they're pretty close.
So now, Modern Necessities is the only OSE book that I have.
Really?
Yeah, I got it because I really like Vic. Seriously, that's why I was like, oh man, he was great to have on. I love Blacklight. I'm happy to support the guy.
Yeah, cool. I think it's good stuff.
I have modern necessities because I like OSE and I like guns. So
yeah, there you go.
Good reasons.
Yeah,
good reasons. Right. Yeah. So Kevin Crawford, Stars Without Number, Worlds Without Number, Cities Without Number, Ashes Without Number.
Just say without numbers.
Atlas of Ladder Earth.
Atlas of the Ladder Earth. Wolves of it's not Wolves. Wolves of God.
Wolves of God. Yeah.
Wolves of God.
He's also got the Red Wave.
Scarlet Heroes.
That sounds right.
I probably should have made a list before trying to do this off my head. But yeah, he's done a bunch of that stuff. They're really cool stuff. I instantly saw this pop up. I backed it because I support Kevin Crawford, everything he puts out. I think it's amazing. I'm a little turned off by the cover page art.
Same.
The banner art. I looked at it, and the first thing I saw when I clicked on it, first thing I thought was, did I click on the wrong thing? And then I saw, nope, this is the Book of Unnumbered Worlds. And my brain went to, is he making kids' books now? And then I was like, wait, what? And then Ken posted a link to it in our Discord and was like, the art sucks, but Kevin's great. Yeah. And it's true. I backed it. I don't mean to like crap on the art like too much. It's just if you've seen the other art from his other books,
it's okay to say
like
it's bad.
this is like, well, where is this coming from? I don't know. But
I looked at it as soon as I was in the office at Albee. I have terrible reception, but so as soon as I stepped outside, all the messages started pinging. So I saw, Kickstarter by Kevin. I would check it out. The shipping is included. So figure that's gonna be $10 to $15 there. So now you're paying $70 for the offset printing book. Mm-hmm. Normally they're around $100. So I was like, well, I am absolutely going to back this because I would just end up ordering it, later anyway. So yeah, super excited about that. Already backed it.
Yeah, numbers without number. Yeah, Paul, and I admit I backed it, and I will get it, and it will sit on my shelf with the other fantasy toolkit books that I have.
Yep.
He's always got good tables in his books, though, and I appreciate good tables.
He does.
And like good procedures. Like the whole faction thing he has in Stars Without Number is awesome.
Yeah.
Like faction turns.
Yeah.
Their goals.
In my
that's definitely improved. Every book.
It's Ashes Without Number, and that was one that Ken ran.
Yeah.
And I wanted to keep playing. I was like, let's do this again next week. Keep going. So I'm happy to back his work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. No, it's good stuff. So yeah, I'm happy to keep giving him money as long as he keeps making stuff. I hope that's not the cover of the book, but
it looks
like the Electric State.
It looks like an NES game, like title screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's 8-bit art.
Yeah. It looks like an NES game title screen.
It's just weird. I don't know, but hopefully it. Well, I think it's doing well, right? It's over 110,000.
Yeah.
And 28 days to go. So I think that that's great, and it'll do. It'll do well. I don't know. Maybe it'll hit 250,000. We'll see. But yeah, good stuff. So that's really all. Like, I don't know what else.
We have one other Kickstarter to talk about.
Oh, Agiles.
Yes,
we got Agiles Kickstarter. Agile Monk. He is at almost. I think he's at 75%. I think he posted something earlier.
I think he's $9,000 away, something like that.
73 or something. Yeah. So he's at 23,777 of
32
of 32,000.
Yeah, so about
right there. and that is Wondrous and Dangerous Consortiums and Zendria World/Lore book.
Yeah, still 3 weeks
So
to go.
yeah, and he's definitely going to get there.
Oh yeah.
And that's fantastic. Oh look, Vic. Hey Vic. Thanks for coming. So yeah, so that's cool stuff. So get on Agile Monk stuff. It's great stuff. Yeah, Agile's a good egg. I think he will. I think he will.
Yeah, I think it'll fund.
He's creeping little by little every day, and then especially in the last 2 days they push it. It generally generally pops right up. But yeah. Vic, I don't know if you were here a few minutes back, but there was a question about the difference between Modern Necessities and Black Rifles and Dark Alleys. Are they kind of the same just for the two different systems, or is there like some kind of like major differences between the two?
He's going to type a paragraph.
Yeah,
we'll get an answer in about 20 minutes.
So
it'll be a well-detailed answer.
That's right.
Yeah, right. So yeah, so I was thinking about this. Every week I think about topics and what we're going to talk about. And now that I'm doing like the shorter streams and the shorter clips and then stuff with Dan and we did the video with Cam there, we're like, there's always like these ideas getting thrown around. And I'm always trying to think of like, okay, what's a good long form discussion? What's a good, 45-minute discussion? What's a good 5 to 10 minute kind of discussion thing? And I'm kind of balancing those. And, I find myself, they're kind of the same. Yeah. Wrote it because people kept asking me for generic modern rules to do their own setting with. Yeah. Okay. So, and that's cool. It's cool that you could do just a generic modern setting in Shadow Dark for those people that don't want to do the blacklight thing. Although, I mean, personal opinion, like, I think if you're going to do something with Shadow Dark, like, I think you have to do something like blacklight, because Shadow Dark really wants you to use like the torch timer. Like, and as soon as you start taking away like the players not having to use that like on a regular, like, I think you start to lose some of the point of Shadow Dark.
Agreed. And I really like Shadow Dark, but agreed.
Yeah, no, me too. But Jason's deep in thought about this.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the different games we played. We've done a fair amount of Overland, and I don't miss the torch timer.
Yeah.
But when it's on, all it means is, it's time to light another torch. I'm playing a soldier, which is one of Chubby Funster's classes. He's got the ability to carry more stuff. There are several classes that can carry more stuff. So, I've got 6 torches on me, and I've got a horse outside that's carrying a bunch of torches. So, we have kind of circumvented the torch rule. All that really matters is that we watch. And I've trained myself to keep an eye on the torch timer. As soon as I see it start getting low, I say I light a torch.
I lighted a torch, yeah.
And I get that the torch timer is an important part of Shadow Dark. I totally understand that. And I think if you're playing first level, straight out of the book characters with a very limited packing list, that the torch timer can be a serious thing that you really got to pay attention to.
Sure.
But I think as our characters have leveled and we've gotten more used to the system and playing not by the book characters, it's just I don't care about it. Now, if the torchbearer gets attacked more often, then it becomes an issue. And we ran into that plenty with the cloakers are always landing on it and all that, but we haven't really had that problem lately. So anyway.
Yeah. I like how Vic put a bandolier of torches.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And it works.
Yep.
And it works. So yeah, I was definitely trying to figure out what to talk about. And I found myself watching, not really watching, but as I'm working on the convention stuff and all that, I like to have something on in the background, usually YouTube or something. And, I watched some of Dan's live stream. That was yesterday, right? Geez, time is just all bundled together for me. some yesterday. I had some stuff going on Sunday. I was watching a replay of somebody's. I flip around through them and I start listening to the way other people run and everything. And so it's been going on for like the past week or so. So last week at some point, that's when I put up the thing about the title of what it takes to run the game. And so I found that kind of interesting, and I started thinking about what it really takes to run a game. And I'm all I'm sorry, I'm laughing at things.
Yes. Support Victor.
You can play Call of Cthulhu, or you can give me money. I know which I prefer.
Buy his
book. Vic, we love Call of Cthulhu, and we're gonna try it too. Don't you worry. No, we love your stuff, Vic. Well, you keep putting out. Well, you keep putting out at least halfway decent stuff, and we'll keep buying it. And your stuff has been fantastic. No. Your stuff has been fantastic. What I mean is if you start publishing stuff just to get $5 from us, we're going to stop buying. All right?
At least halfway decent.
Yeah.
What do you
Everything before Blacklight sucked. So yeah, that sounds like Jesus, man.
No. Blacklight's amazing. No, a lot of the stuff he's put out is amazing. What I'm saying is just. We're not gonna buy stuff. We start putting out stuff just to put it out. That's what I meant.
If he starts doing, if he goes the Disney route, then we're not going to be buying.
Okay. Yes, there you go.
I understand. Yeah.
Sorry, Vic. I didn't mean to offend the scrying Dutchman. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Don't blow it. Yeah. Okay.
Vic, I'm sorry, man. It was Roger that started this. Just keep that in mind.
It came off wrong. All right. So, so I started thinking about what it takes to run the game, and at first, I really started thinking that that I didn't want to do this topic because it would feel like I'm trying to prop myself up because I run all the time. And so, I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but it's just
propping you up. That's a bad idea.
Propping DMs up. Cause I run all the time DM, not just me, not that's going to inflate my ego, but like for me to sit here and like lecture people on like, hey, this is what it takes to like run a game. I didn't want it to come off like, as pretentious. I'm not, some huge expert, you know what I mean? And there you go, folks. You heard it first here. Offset print omnibus thing for Modern Necessities, single action, cutting edge. And knowing Vic, if that does well, hopefully we'll see a Blacklight offset print after that. So
I don't know if I want to get rid of my first edition printing. I'm going to go back to that cool border that was a mistake, apparently.
Yeah, a mistake. Yeah.
I think it's awesome. I don't want to get rid of it.
So
collector's item.
Yep.
Yeah. There you go. So yeah, what it takes to run the game. That's okay, Edgelord. We know.
Appreciate it, man.
We know. So he's testing the whole offset process. Streets of Magic. There you go. Cool. Can't wait for that either. What it takes to run the game. Like, I was thinking about it. Can anybody? Let me lead with this question, right? Because this is what kind of got me thinking about it. Can anybody run a game?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Helen Keller would have a really hard time.
Anybody? Yeah, Helen Keller might have a hard time. Anybody can run a game. Not everybody can run a game well.
Well, okay, right.
The tools are there.
The
anybody can try it.
Somebody do it well, and like actually make it like a decent game. You know what I mean? That's kind of. But so, Jason, you're hard no.
Yes, and I understand what Mike is saying, and I agree. But for me, if you're running it so poorly, you are not running a game. You're just sitting there jerking off.
Yeah, but
I just don't have time for that.
Hang on a minute. I guarantee you, me, Stan can sit down at a table and I'll have a different opinion of the game being run.
Yeah.
So whether or not they're doing a good job depends. They're going to put shit in there that you aren't going to like.
Oh no.
There's
I don't.
There's things that can come up in a game that you will not like.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I don't care if the game material isn't something I don't care for. Here's the example that I'm thinking of. Boy, it's story time already, and we've been doing this for 41 minutes. I went to PAX East with a couple of friends of mine, and we sat down at a 5e game. I didn't care that it was 5e. I was playing a monk. I was looking forward to playing. While we were playing, the DM ignored what the player kept saying he wanted to do and forced the player to do something he had no desire to do. Middle of the game, the DM is texting his mom, and then she calls him. He answers the phone at the table. That has nothing to do with the game material. That is a shit DM who should have never signed up to run.
He needed his chicken tendies.
I do agree with you, and I don't really have any defense for that. But
there was no defense. It was appalling. I paid to sit at that table.
Hang on, Jason. Skip all that. He's not texting his mom. He's not doing any of that shit. If he's just not very good at running the game, it's also hard to judge a DM based on a convention game because they have a defined slot they got to try and fit it in.
Sure, I've run it at conventions. In fact, I'm running one in 2 weeks.
So if you ran a home game, is it going to be different than your convention game?
Not really. No, I just got to start running.
I don't think I'd want to play in your game then because convention games they have a very defined, supposed to have a defined beginning and end, and the way they're, they got to fit within a time slot.
Yeah.
They don't allow for the player interactions you could in a home game. If you run your that's fine.
Yeah. Why wouldn't players be able to interact with each other?
Because they don't have the time. They don't have the time to do it.
Certainly they do.
Mike, you're talking about like in-depth role playing, like stuff. Is that what you're talking about?
Sure. I mean, look, you can.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. You know.
You can watch Jay Scott's stream. He's got a game that lots of people watch it and play in it and have fun and whatever else. His game is absolutely nothing like any home game I've ever seen because his games are made for streams, just like a convention game is made for a convention. You literally start his games, you generally start right at the beginning. Like you're ready to head into the dungeon and, it's meant to be like 1 or 2 shots and they're going to be done. And there's not a lot in between. They get done with that dungeon. It's not the players going back to town or any kind of development or anything. It's literally the show ends and next week we're going to start at the next one.
Okay.
I mean, that's not how most home games work.
Well, I would agree with that because it's not a home game. He's doing it specifically to stream to an audience.
And when you're doing it, I guess. You don't see the comparison here?
No, I understand. I just disagree with you. For me, as the DM, and we'll be putting this to test in 2 weeks, it's my job as the DM to tell the story. It's the players' jobs to play the story. But if the players' actions start guiding the story in a different direction, I'm okay with that. I don't have to look at the Skyrim thing, the Shadowrun thing that I'm going to be running in 2 weeks, and say, okay, we're starting here, and at the end of 4 hours, we must be at this point. It's my job to say, okay, we've got half an hour left. We've gone there. We've done all of this. So now I need to think of something to come up with a decent end for this. And if I fail, that sucks for me. But if the players are having a good time, I don't care about that. I know, for example, I know that Edgelord is going to be in my game. My table's full. 6 people signed up for it, much to my surprise. I know that Edgelord is going to be there. At the end of my allotted time, when we're packing up, if Edgelord looks at me and says, I had a great time, I don't care about the rest of it. That's all that matters to me.
I didn't say you can't. I didn't say that format won't be fun for a con game.
No. Say again? Do what?
I didn't say playing that type of format isn't fun for a con game. It's kind of expected for a con game.
Well, you said earlier that the players don't get to interact at a con game.
I didn't. I said the players don't get to interact at the level they would for a home game. You're twisting my words. There's 2 separate things here. A con game is not a home game, period. They're not.
True.
All right. Move on to something
for the first time, I think I've gotten under Mike's skin. Interesting.
So,
Stan, what do you... Hang on. Let me explain. It's not that you got under my skin. It's I hate the attitude that people get that Nope, you're wrong. Plain and simple. Nope, you're wrong. I don't like that.
I didn't say you were wrong. I said I disagree with you. I don't understand where this is coming from, man, but that's okay. I run my con games the same way I run my home games. I always have, because I sit down and start running the game, and I just don't really worry about the rest of it. But that's just me. Like I said, in 2 weeks, we'll see how it goes. I might crash and burn. Might be great. We'll find out.
Stan, what do you think? Can anybody run a game or?
Well, in the caveat being a good game, right?
Well, yeah, right. A good game.
The answer to that is no. I don't think so. I think because it requires some abilities, right? And if you don't have those, like, kind of getting into that a little bit, like time management, being able to manage the table, and not manage in a way you're like forcing people to do things, but just manage, like keep the flow of the game going. That's a huge thing. But honestly, though, the caveat for that for me, and I have an example of this, is it depends on who your players are too. Like we had in my personal group, we do our gaming weekends. I've talked about them before. And one year, my friend Jeremy really wanted to run a game. So we were like, yeah, man, run a game. Have fun. And he was super nervous, like visibly very, very nervous. And because he was running for all the guys that he plays with that run games for him, so it was kind of intimidating. And he gave us the opening scenario, and we just took the ball and ran with it for the next 4 or 5 hours. And when he got done, like you could see him, I was sitting right next to him, and you could see him like sort of like as time went on, like get more relaxed and be able to give out his information and stuff. And he got over that pretty much. And at the end of it, when we were talking about it, we all had fun. It was a great time. I played one of my favorite characters ever, this half naked, all right, 3/4 naked female dwarven barbarian. She was great. But he was like, he told us afterwards, he was like, oh my God, that was so like, you guys just, from the opening dice roll, you guys just took the ball and ran with it. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. It's intimidating. You're sitting here with all these guys that run games for you. But honestly, we're the best guys to run games for, because we know what it takes to make a good game. And we're going to facilitate that game happening at the table. So we're not going to be fucking dinks to you or make things hard for, just to make things hard. Like we're gonna do whatever we can to make a fun game. So yeah, I don't think everybody can, and some people, obviously just aren't interested in that aspect of the game itself, the hobby. But you have to have some abilities, and that doesn't mean you can, like at the beginning, you're going to be great at all of them. Like you'll probably suck at a bunch of them.
It takes practice, just like anything else.
Yeah, it's like the more time you put in and the more effort you put into becoming better, you can overcome that stuff. But some people just, they don't have it. But I'm kind of biased though, because I'm surrounded by like tons of like really good game masters. Like I play with a ton of them in all the groups I'm in. Like just guys that are phenomenal. So I'm lucky in that regard.
Yeah, and that's something definitely that I put on my list that I wanted to talk about, was like the quality of the players, or not the quality, I guess it's a bad way of putting it, but like the if like obviously if you have players that are good game masters, it definitely makes, I think, a better game, because they know when to help out, and like when you're trying to get the group to try and go a certain direction or whatever, and can kind of add to that, or help do that.
Yeah, like another experience I had, and I've mentioned it before, like I played Candela Obscura, total crap system, but that was an awesome game.
I love this
because
story.
we had a phenomenal game master, my friend Chris. She was awesome. Like the story that the whole adventure she put together for us, that was a one shot that lasted 4 sessions. And because we joked about it, and she's like, well, I was sitting here with a table full of role players, so it was like, it just was an awesome game. That system sucks, but the game I had a ton of fun. I would play it again. Like if she said she won't run it, because I don't think she liked the system either. But I had so much fun, like just interacting with not only the characters we had, but the whole thing that she had put together. It was a blast.
Yeah. Dan, how about you? Can anyone run a decent game? Or
I think anyone can aspire to run a good game, but it is not something that you can just do. I very much believe in a like know your audience kind of expanding
Sure.
on what Stan said, knowing your audience for what kind of game you're going to run. And the example I'll give is, pretty clear, right? My normal Tuesday game, it's a bunch of World of Warcraft guys that I've known for 10, 12, 14 years, and they're all a bunch of video gamers. So I go heavy on Foundry with the dynamic lighting and all the cool effects and like the teleportation circles and all that shit. It's awesome. They have a blast. I have a blast. It's a good time. But the Monday night game, I'm running Zambala. We had some issues playing Shadowdark on Roll20 with just very aggressive dynamic lighting in a very tight dungeon. And like, I know Lord Mattias hates VTTs. He says it every time someone says the word or the acronym VTT. He'll just be like, oh, what about this VTT? They fucking suck. It just reflexively comes out of him. So
I got to remember that next time I'm on a stream.
Yeah. Just start talking about how much you love VTTs. It'll be a good time, especially if he's a few whiskeys deep. But so with the Monday one, I'm going full theater of the mind, which is how I played growing up, and I'm kind of like slipping back into it. I'm having a blast. So, I don't think I'm particularly impressive or anything. I'm just random, normal nerd on playing games with his buddies. But I think anyone can work on their craft and become pretty decent at it. So,
yeah, it's interesting. And Stan, everybody kind of touched on it a little bit, but Stan, I kind of went into it with having like really great players, helps or GMs, right, running games. Mm-hmm. And I'll try and keep this part short. I know I've said the story before about when Jason and I were playing the Lord of the Rings game. The one, was it One Ring? Is that
One Ring? Yeah.
That's the free league one, right?
Yeah.
The not 5e free league one, right? Yeah. And you were playing that, and it's like the GM wanted the game to be a railroad and like go from here to here to point crawl railroad. You're going from here to here to here, and like the players just really wanted to just ham up the Hobbit thing, and just we wanted to we could have spent 2 hours just
eating
lunch and shopping, and we would have had a blast. And the GM, he wanted zero part of that, and was like, "No, we're you guys got to go to the thing." And like, well, we're gonna miss 11sies. I mean, he was just so frustrated with that.
So
good.
For me, like listening to that, like a mark of I think it would be a good game master, somebody that like he had a plan, but if he had been able to like flip it and be like, oh, they really want to do this, let's go do that. I mean, I just kind of talked about that in the video I did about terrain and miniatures and stuff. And you got to be able, as a game master, you got to be able to read the room for one, right? So if your guys are having a blast, okay, we're going to keep doing more of this. Or if they look like they're ready to start going shopping, they're going to be like, well, let's do something different. Let's change this up,
Yeah.
Steven had like one of those little bubble tests. It was like, how do you feel about Dan's referee skill? Fine, poor, very poor, fine, very fine.
So Zambala is a cheat code. I've run it like 6 or 7 times. I could run that module with my eyes closed. So
yeah, it's interesting, right? Like there's this kind of module that not really a module, this kind of adventure, right, that I've come up with, that I've kind of ran. I've taken different things from different parts, and it's about a werewolf. It's a werewolf story. There's a murder, and you got to figure out what's going on, and blah blah blah. And I've ran it in like the Old West. I've ran it in Cyberpunk. I've ran it in fantasy. I mean, it kind of fits in several different kind of things. And just from running it like so many times, like I could just, I could just run it off the cuff. Like I don't need it in front of me. There's no there's no loading time, of like, oh, what's in this room over here, or like what's in that. And I think that's like important too, like to not only, I mean, obviously like the first time you run a module, like you need to have read it. Like that's like, I mean, I'll start there, right? You like good prep is great. You need to at least read the module that you're playing. And then, and I would suggest like run that module multiple times, because you end up, like learning it and, figuring it out. I mean, I wouldn't run it for the same group, you know what I mean? But if you get an opportunity to run it another time, run it and see how much you can remember without having to, look it up and read it. And I mean, I've been in plenty of games where like the GM clearly like, was, it's one thing to discover what's going to happen by rolling on random tables, but it's one, it's a completely separate thing when the GM is finding out, what's happening because he hasn't read that section of the module yet. Like,
Right.
And it's just like, you get that loading screen of like, okay, hang on, the elevator music's playing, and they're like, oh, this was supposed, okay,
Which is why I like modules like this that are like 50, 60 pages, right? You can read them, they're digestible, as opposed to something like Gods of the Forbidden North, which I love. I'm in Chubby Foster's game.
Man.
It's a blast. Yeah. But like that's a daunting task too. And I know you don't need to read the whole thing, right? But it's still a lot.
But you still got to have an idea. Vic, we'd love to have you at CNY sometime. Hopefully next year. We'll see how
it's always been my hang up with modules, is because I usually do homebrew everything, but I have tons of modules. Like I have all the Hyperborea. They're freaking awesome.
There.
But for me, sometimes it's hard for me to do modules because it feels more like I'm studying something opposed to like creating something. Like I really like the creation process. Like I like prepping games. Like that's part of the juice for me. So, but there's so many great modules out there. I still buy them, and I want to run some of, like the Hyperborea ones. I want to run those, and because I love the setting, and the set is great.
I like the ones.
The Hyperborea modules are fantastic.
Yeah, I like the ones that are like micro settings, right? So, like I said, I've run this 6 or 7 times. Every single time I've run it, it's been different. I had a group that went on like the main quest arc, if you will, and followed that pretty religiously. I had a group that just stayed in the main city and engaged in a bunch of politicking there. And like, now these guys that I'm running for are like, oh, we're out of the city. Let's go explore the desert and find some treasure and that kind of stuff. So it's just, there's enough there to really, do whatever the hell your table wants to do with it, which I love. And yes, Hyperborea is peak Vic. I agree. It's the best.
Yeah. So, Mike, you just did, what was it, 4 sessions, you said? Was your, so how big, that's one module, right?
No. The first session was the Last Things Last, which is the introductory adventure.
Okay.
And then three sessions was the Lover in the Ice.
3 sessions, Lover in the Ice. So for those 3 sessions, like that's a 3-session game, right? It's not like meant for one that you stretched.
I don't think you could do it in 1. You could probably do it in 2.
If it's tight.
Being new to it, they did a lot of discussion at the table of like what should they do, and I allowed it. I didn't like try and push them to make quick decisions and stuff because they're still trying to. It's so different than D&D.
Yeah, right. You got to learn the system and learn how things work. Because you don't want to just run into the room and start swinging at the bad guy because it's going to end badly.
Right, but most of it's not combat, although they had a lot of combat in this last part of the adventure. One of the things with it is, it's set in 2009, so they have a lot of technological ways that they could deal with it, and so I gave them time to discuss what they were doing and whatnot. And like I said, I didn't really push them. D&D, I get to the point now where if they start taking even a couple minutes at the table, I'll be like, all right, guys, come on, let's move it on. Make a decision and let's go. And if we're in combat, they don't get that. It's gets to your turn and it's go. In this, it was a little different, so I let them work together and discuss it. I let them figure it out. And there were even a few points where they'd get like stuck on things, and I'd kind of guide them along. And I'm like, guys, this is it. After this adventure, you won't get any of this. So take it in now and start getting in that mindset. But they've done good with it. They've gotten creative with it, and they've done really well.
Yeah, and that's a good point too. Like I think I think a great tip out there, right, as far as what it takes to run the game is like to know your audience or know your players, and that's that's more difficult at like a convention game or something where it's just a one shot. But like to start off with something that's like a simpler thing and then kind of build up and and don't put the players, like don't throw them immediately into anything that's like timer based or whatever, or something that's like because then people get like, if they don't know the system and they don't know, they kind of get nervous or whatever. So you got to know when to like slow down, and then when it's time to be like, okay, what do you want to do? And you start, give them 5 seconds. You know what I mean? You start counting down, 5, 4, whatever.
Well, what I did was they would definitely, like, they were heading into a house and they'd be like, they'd spend 20 minutes discussing, all right, we're going to go in, we want to do this, we want to do this. But the minute they decided to breach one of those doors and go in the house or whatever, then it was literally,
on and
we were in initiative time.
Yeah.
And initiative works based on dexterity. You don't roll. It's just highest dexterity goes first. And I literally went right around the table in order they were. And they're like, what are you doing? And he's like, okay, I'm going to go do this. And then you got to just keep it in your mind. Okay, that's going to take a few minutes. So what are you doing? His thing might only take a few seconds. So, all right, let's resolve that. Is there anything else you want to do? And if that was it, then I move on to the next person, or maybe they had something else. So, okay, I open that door and I want to check the room. If there's nothing to do, they can open the door and check the room while the other guy's spending 20 minutes going through a closet or,
Yeah.
So you just got to kind of be able to manage it like that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's some of it. Vic, he's running Delta Green. He's running Delta Green. It's not Thing in the Ice. What was
Lover in the Ice was the name of the
Lover
adventure.
in the Ice.
The creepiest, most screwed up adventure you will ever run in your life.
So what did you read the entire thing before running it?
Yeah.
And how? And then, like I would imagine. I mean, it's not that big. It's only a few sessions. Right?
So I buy the hardcovers, and Delta Green's been putting all their adventures in hardcovers. So I've been going through and printing them out for just the individual adventure I'm going to use, because then I go through and I highlight stuff, and I'll mark it up, stuff that's important stuff.
Me too.
Yeah.
I do color coding.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
there you go.
That's the nice part of. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how you could do Delta Green without reading the adventure multiple times before running it, because there's so much going on. There's so many details and so much going on. I mean, you could, I know you made the comment about, you get a DM that hasn't read it beforehand and they're figuring it out. Listen, you could pull any one of those Shadow Dark or OSC adventures off the shelf and probably run them at the table that way without much trouble at all. Because most of them are designed, especially OSC, the layout of the adventures is designed for you to literally be able to pick it up and run it. Is it the best way to do it? No, I think you should prep it, but you could play it. You could run those without prep, without really slowing it down.
Sure, sure.
But something like Delta Green or Call of Cthulhu, no way. No, you got to prep that.
Yeah, right. And I mean, I think that's a good point. I mean, that's kind of what I was going with, like the prep like thing. Like, there's definitely certain modules and certain things where you're going to want to, read ahead and do prep and make notes like you guys showed, the notes. And then definitely, there's definitely things where you could just read a little bit ahead, or, kind of follow along and figure it out, especially if it's more sandboxy. I think you can do that.
I mean, I'll give you an example. Dan mentioned Gods of the Forbidden North.
Yeah.
Forget Gods of the Forbidden North. Try running this without any prep.
That was the other one I was thinking about.
You might as well sit down for 6 months and prep this game before running your first session.
Is that for Hyperborea or what system is that for?
No,
that's Arden Bowl.
This is made for first edition.
Yeah.
It's not OSC. It was written for Osric, actually.
Yeah, Osric.
Thanks, Rick.
But Yeah, it's so basically first edition D&D. It's enormous. It's absolutely enormous. And then there's another book that just came out. He just added to it.
Yeah.
So
it's like an 11,000 room mega dungeon or something insane like that.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. And I don't know, like mega dungeons, you can kind of get like once you get into the dungeon itself, it kind of makes it, easier because you kind of know what direction like that they're going. So you have an idea of what you need to like read up. Like odds are they're not going to say, "Oh, let's backtrack way over here." Well, they're going to kind of keep going in a general direction.
One nice thing about this, and it's not that there's not other mega dungeons that do this. Some of them do, and some of them don't. Some of them are like, I don't know. I think some of them are lazy design. It's just a big dungeon filled with rooms, populated with a bunch of similar creatures and whatnot. This is like, there's factions in here. Every single level has a whole different type of theme to it and stuff going on. It's never the same thing. So it's, I would love to run it. Do I want to prep it? No. DM Samuel's been running it for, I don't know, 8 months now or something. And I guess his game's on hold at the moment for a month or two, but he said they've been loving it. They've been playing it with OSE.
Yeah. Gods of the Forbidden North is definitely on my list. I would love to run it. And so that's a plan. But like, it's on the list. And, the older I get, the more things that I want to put on the list. I have to think about like Gods of the Forbidden North is probably going to be a 2-year campaign.
You know what? I thought Dolmenwood was going to be a 2-year campaign, and it was a 2-month campaign because they died like morons to Sturges.
Come now, Dan. Some people don't know how.
It was a bunch of 5e kids. It was their first time in OSE, so it was rough.
Okay, so that's another point that I want to get to. But first, because Craig Bragg asked me to, there's John Con coming up. There's a Facebook link to the event for it. I don't know if there's a web page. I tried to Google John Con, and there's a million of them. This is November 13th through 15th. St. John's Anglican Burlington. I don't know exactly where that is, but I mean, it's Canada, but it's Ontario. But I mean, I don't know exactly where that is. It's Ontario, yeah. I'm not sure where it is.
When you said Burlington, I assumed Vermont, but
no. This is because I know he's from Canada, so I would imagine that if he's running a convention, it would be in Canada and not in the States. But that's that. Craig, if you got a link, send it to me. I don't know if you could put it in the chat, but see if you can get a hold of me somewhere, and I'll post it to like a website or something like that. Where was I? What was I going to say? I was saying something to Dan, and then I wanted to get back to it, and then I lost it. Oh no, it was great. Anyway, Dan made a great point, and I wanted to jump on it, and I wanted to go somewhere with it, and then I totally forgot.
I'm still here. You were making a great point about how awesome I am. What were we talking about? We were talking about mega dungeons,
and
I was going to make a mega dungeon joke about how the only one worth running is Rappaneathic.
Oof.
I like I'm playing through one called Ave Nox, which is really good so far.
Yeah,
I picked that up recently. I'm excited to try it at some point, along with the 400 other books that I'm excited to try at some point in my future.
It's pretty. Yeah, I like it because it's not just kicking doors. Like there's factions there. There's a mystery of the history of the dungeon itself, and it's got some really like odd stuff in it too that you end up coming across as far as even your adversaries. And we're using it's system neutral, so we're actually using Dragonbane to play it.
Nice.
So I had tried to run the world's largest dungeon, which like it was so weird because it came out in the 3rd edition days, and it was this huge dungeon, had all these different sections and huge maps and everything. And it was like basically like a joke, right? It had like every single monster in it from like the 3rd edition thing. And I thought it was cool. I started running it. I mean, I ran it for a couple of years and people got through like a few sections of it. And I had like every section like print out in separate folders, even though I have the book. I mean, I had every section print out in separate folders and, everything like highlighted and marked. And, as they went through the sections, I was, reading ahead. I kind of skimmed the whole thing and then went through it. But prep after the initial prep, playing it was fairly easy, the prep, because it was mostly just, they were going room to room or area to area. So you kind of knew which way they were headed and you kind of get a general idea of what's going on. And each main section had like a theme. But now it's like, it seems like the whole mega dungeon thing is, it's definitely like increased. And I mean, I don't know if some of that is because of Greg. Like I don't know if Barrow Maze was like the start of it all. I know that Barrow Maze is pretty old, and so is Ardenvold the old one?
It's not very old. I mean, it's not super old.
Or Rapanathuk.
Rapanathuk's from
the older one.
Yeah, it's from the 3rd edition days.
And I mean, I guess like the Lost City, I guess is sort of a large, but like back in the day that was like huge, but it's really not compared to all these other, dungeons and stuff. And
now they've gotten ridiculous.
Everything's it's all like ridiculous. So
I think part of the reason why you see so much of it in recent years is because you've got OSC and Shadow Dark being so popular. They're basically BX clones, and most of BX was made. That's what it was dungeon crawling. Most everything you did in BX was dungeon crawling.
Sure.
Even the written adventures. I mean, there's some stuff out there that was, that obviously was not dungeon crawling. I mean, you had, you had stuff like, Isle of Dread and, plenty of things that were outdoor, wilderness, whatever. But most of the adventures for B and X were dungeons.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you mentioned Isle of Dread, and like, I don't know, I'll get flack for this, but I mean, realistically, I know it's outdoors, it's
an outdoor mega dungeon. Yeah,
it's a dungeon crawl, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely a mega dungeon. I mean, I know that they call it a hex crawl, and that's really just a big outdoor dungeon, with more random encounters.
Yeah.
There's less walls, but I mean, it's still, you're going instead of going room to room, you're going hex to hex and, figuring out what's there and all of that. Yeah. So that's, it's interesting,
that was one of my beefs about OSC and Shadow Dark was once you really dive into the adventures, very few people are writing anything besides just dungeons. Hey, let's make another dungeon with more death traps and more wacky, weird stuff. And slap our name on it, and there's just a glut of them.
That's definitely, I think, where those systems are built from. But I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I understand that. I get it, right? 100%. But like all the role playing stuff, like, and all the stuff that happens in between, like, I don't really want a ton of rules for that, if any. Like, I would rather just play it by ear. You know what I mean?
I think part of that is because we've had rules for dungeon crawling for years, right?
Yeah,
some systems left them out and whatnot, but we've always got reference to go back to. There's less rules when it comes to social interactions and wilderness crawls than there are for dungeon crawls. If we had rules for that all along, it might be second nature and normal for you to just
it might be different. Yeah,
run them like a dungeon, but.
Well, and part of that is where the game came out of wargaming. I mean, that was, so that's why we have those rules, and the social aspect wasn't really developed until, much later. But
the problem is we haven't evolved with it. Some people have. There's stuff out there, but a lot of people are still trying to write things exactly as if it was 1979.
Sure.
You know?
I mean, and
Yeah,
I mean,
I've seen a Goodman Games module. Yeah.
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 I mean, to be fair though, like the social stuff that I have seen, like, isn't great.
Well,
Like, I mean, the stuff that they had for 3rd edition and 3.5 and stuff, like, I don't think it was, really great. And then going to what's like Burning Wheel.
I don't think anything from 3rd and 3.5 was great.
Yeah,
I
Or
would
4th.
that's fine.
I would offer one counterpoint and only one. Red Hand of Doom is great.
Yeah.
Red Hand of Doom is good. Yeah.
That's
I mean,
the
I
only
liked-
3rd edition adventure that's any good.
I liked 3rd and 3.5 a lot. I liked running the Goodman Games modules. I liked running 3.5. Looking back at it now, like, I'm glad it's over, and I'll never go back.
There's a couple 3rd edition adventures that I think were pretty good. I'm having a mind blank right now, so I'm actually looking up.
I swear they're out there.
No.
I liked a lot of the third-party stuff better than the first-party stuff.
So it's the same series. It's Sunless Citadel, Forge of Fury, and Red Hand of Doom.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the 3 of them
Yeah.
are good.
Yeah. No, I agree. I
But
agree.
beyond that, I couldn't tell you any 3rd edition adventures because nothing stands out. There wasn't,
Yeah. No, I get it. And I ran it, for a while, and like I said, I'm kind of over it. Like prep wise, it was kind of annoying. There was a lot that you had to do. Which is one reason why I gravitate, I think, toward old school stuff, like the prep for that stuff. And as far as like what it takes to run the game, it's a lot easier. And like CNC, like I know we've had a lot to say about CNC, but man, like prepping, especially for like prepping a combat thing for CNC, other than kind of like the minutia and some of the crazy details that you had to look up that that you couldn't find in the books, like a monster, that's a 5-hit die monster. Like, that's all you need to know.
Well,
Like, you could,
I agree with you.
derive everything else from that.
See, for me, as like, I'm a 2E guy, but I think that 1E, 2E, and Castle and Crusades, I mean, I could run them right on the fly.
Sure.
They're easy enough to run. They're very similar. They're just familiar. It's the type of system you could just pick it up and run it. If you know 5E, you could try and do that, but the math doesn't work out. You're going to be guessing at creatures, and then it's either going to be overpowered or the players are going to wipe it. There's no like middle ground. Like, hey, we got the perfect encounter here with 5E. That ran great. No, it's usually one way or the other.
Yeah. Vic says CNC is the true 3E. I mean, I don't know. Maybe
if never mind, I'm not gonna say anything.
That's a debate. Like, I mean, that's I don't know. I know Gary was involved.
Is it the true 3E or is it the true 2E?
No, it's the truth. It is 3E.
Yeah.
Come on, who are we kidding? It's
3E, right?
They want to say it's not, but they copied and pasted the spell descriptions. So
sure.
But there's no skills, right?
Yes, there is.
3E was very skill based.
Yes, there is.
Yes,
not in the sense that 3E was though.
Where you have like a skill system where you're putting in points and the skills.
Yeah.
Each of the classes have their own kind of skill base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That gets into the what is a skill question.
Yeah.
Are
skill
these
system. I mean,
skills
there's
still-
one tacked onto it, but
Right.
because Gary wrote one for it for Castle Zagay.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's definitely some. I don't know. There's a lot to unpack there with whether CNC is. I mean, it's definitely based on 3rd edition. It's definitely has that,
sure.
and they tried to engineer 1st edition out of it. Working backwards. And I mean, I liked it. I mean, I you know what I mean.
I like CNC.
If you look at
my
their
issues with it are the editing.
If you look at their class design, it very much looks like 1E class design.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Combat and spells is like a mix between 1E and 3E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Siege is garbage. Hot, steaming garbage.
Yeah, I think
after level 10 or 11, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's fine until you get past the mid levels.
Yeah.
Like that's which I think is why originally it and technically it
only went to
capped at
12th
like
level.
12.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
They knew.
like, and then the next page is like, oh, this is the extra levels if you want to do this.
Yeah.
You give a lot of credit saying that they knew. They don't even know their current rules.
I like
now.
to hope that they knew. They just didn't stop at 12 arbitrarily, okay?
Go ask Steve some questions on his stream. He will not be able to answer rules questions for you. Come on. They don't know. Great guys.
Well, I mean, and that's that's interesting too. Like, as far as to get us pulled back here, right on topic, what it takes to run the game, like how much fudging and how much, like I think let me lead with this. I think you need a GM. A GM needs to be able to, when there's not a rule that's known, or when somebody doesn't know how something works, you need a GM that is charismatic enough. Maybe charismatic's not the right word, but to be able to say, okay, this is how we're going to do it, so the game can keep moving forward, and we'll look it up later. We'll deal with it. And I mean, I have issues with that. I admit, like I have issues trying to like say, okay, this is how we're going to do it. Like I'll make a suggestion, but I'm usually not forceful with it enough, and then people still want to look it up or whatever, and so we'll pause the game and look it up. It doesn't happen so much when we're playing like Shadow Dark or something, because and I don't think it would happen. Like it didn't happen really a whole lot with Basic Fantasy. I don't think it would happen a whole lot with like OSE, or things like that. But I mean, so this is mostly like CNC as of recent, and third edition we did it a lot. But so maybe that's just indicative of those systems, right, that have a lot of rules. But but I mean, how do you guys feel about that? Yeah, go ahead. Jeez.
Not only that they have a lot of rules, is going back to what Mike said, Siege is hot garbage. So many of the rules are so poorly defined that we were like, okay, I mean, there's a rule here that's kind of half written, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it. So
you pissed Stan off now, see?
And I agree with Mike. I think Siege is garbage, but that does not mean that I didn't have a good time. We had a good time playing CNC. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I enjoyed running CNC until I didn't.
Yeah.
I ran it for a few years, and then it just little things started to irritate me.
Yeah. Those
little
things become a whole lot of little things.
The problem came in was, I no longer had CNC books on the table. I had 2 ebooks on the table to fill in the blanks for rules that weren't in the CNC books.
That's how I feel about Shadow Dark.
Yeah, I feel the same way. That was our thing with it. It's like, it's fun.
Yeah.
But can it be long-term for me? Probably not, because it's missing a lot.
Agreed. Yeah.
I mean, even in class design, I would take OSE class design over Shadow Dark any day, because, I mean, like, look at the Paladin from the playtest. That's not a Paladin. Nothing about it screams Paladin.
Sure.
It's a fighter without specialization that picks a deity and gets a horse and a magic sword at first level.
Sure.
That's all you are.
No, agreed.
Hey, I got a dumb off question. Owlbear rugs, right?
Owlbear rugs.
See the orange beak on this guy? Well, I started making gray ones.
Here, wait, hold on.
He's got a
hold them both up.
So I'm doing both. Should this guy have an orange beak, or should I leave it black?
Leave it black.
No, that guy should have a black beak.
Pure white.
White?
Yeah. Dripping blood.
And how about the eyes? This guy painted the eyes. This guy was black.
Well, it's a rug.
Painted eyes.
I know it's a rug. I know it's a rug. That's why I left them black.
Well, no, I'm saying that because it's like seeing like a bearskin rug. It depends on what the taxidermist did. Did he put the fake eyes in, or did they put in like black marbles? I think either one works. I have no issue with either one of those.
Well, I'm painting up some big batches of both of these because I have 2 of these and 1 of these. and they're always big sellers at cons. So I'm painting them. I was just trying to figure it out, but these are new.
Yeah, I bought 2 last year when I was there.
Well, I'm going to start doing other colors, so then people can come back and buy them again.
Yeah, there you go.
You got to have a variety.
Yeah.
All right, so black beak, colored eyes. Okay.
Yeah, can't wait. No, it's gonna be awesome. So, yeah.
Stan, do you paint like me? Like you paint your hands?
Oh
and
God,
everywhere?
I'm the same way. Yeah, when I paint, I got paint all over my hands and everything. And
you don't paint?
Yeah.
Who are you kidding?
It's been a while. But I do on occasion.
Okay.
It's been a while.
We'll
do it on stream one of
paint.
these days.
I have 2 specific sets of sweatpants that I'll wear because they are covered in paint because I use them as a canvas sometimes.
I'm being bold here. I'm being bold here with this shirt on.
Yeah, I ruin more clothes painting miniatures and.
What? So, running the game. I think I find. I mean, obviously, like prep and all that is a lot easier, for something like Shadow Dark. Is chat broken? What?
No, I think everyone's just being very quiet.
Yeah, Vic, I think you said debate me, bro, and then everybody got scared.
And they ran.
And nobody wanted to get in on that.
I'll debate Vic.
All.
It's not even the first European I've yelled at today.
There you go.
I'm just kind of wondering. Oh, well, according to YouTube, there are 6 people watching right now, so that would.
I get more than that. There's more. There's more than that. There's 17.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you're just seeing one channel. You're just seeing the one channel. But yeah. I definitely find it easier to prep for systems that like are easier to learn or that maybe that I know better, right? Like, I mean, I think after a while of prepping 3.5, like I was pretty good at it. But like Shadow Dark seems really simple to prep for.
I think so.
Yeah, and I mean, I like it. I get that maybe it's too simple, for some people, and that's fine, But like I don't know. I think that I think I'll get out of it, especially with the Western Reaches stuff, and we'll see what happens once the players get to like past 5th level. I think our highest is what Jason is a 4th level character, right? So I don't know. I think we'll see what happens, but I think I think it'll be fine. I mean, the way that I run it anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. I think my main thing about Shadow Dark, right? Like I've been playing for 35 years at this point. When Shadow Dark has a rules gap, I can just fill in the blank with like OSE or Swords and Wizardry or whatever, right? A newer GM who has a party that says, well, I don't want to go into the dungeon, I want to go over the mountain and see what's on top of it or beyond it or whatever, they're going to have a problem in Shadow Dark if they have just the base book.
So I agree with you there. I've been DMing since '88, right? It's easy. You can adjust and do whatever. If the game system requires me to fill in the gaps for rules too often, I'm just going to switch game systems. That's the problem.
Agreed.
No, I agree.
I don't mind. Listen, there's always going to be. I mean, 2E's missing stuff. 2E doesn't have really like. There's no hex crawling rules or any real wilderness adventure stuff. There is in some of the other books, but in the core books there isn't. But if that's what I gotta replace and fill the blanks with, that's fine. But if I gotta fill in the blanks with that, and then maybe something with saving throws and something with spells, and there's not rules for how this works, and you find yourself doing that all the time, it's time to find something else to play.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I said that to Stan, I think, I don't know, last week or something, or maybe a couple weeks ago, where we were talking, and he's using the saving throws from Hyperborea and CNC, and he started saying, I think he was taking some other stuff from it. He was using it, And I'm like, I mean, at some point, like,
how is Castles and Hyperborean Crusades, by the way?
Yeah, right.
Working awesome. We just had my 86 session the other day. So
but I mean, yeah,
going
but
all right.
at some point, like, it's not like, we get into the whole ship of Thesis thing, right? But like, eventually you're not playing CNC anymore. Like, you're playing CNC with, but all the rules are from Hyperborea, like where's that cutoff, like, for you, Stan? Like, are you close, you think, to saying, fuck it, we're converting to Hyperborea,
No, probably not. The only reason, well, the biggest reason probably I wouldn't do that with the campaign I'm running is one, because it's it's got all the fantasy races in it. We got I don't think there's any. Matter of fact, my current players, I don't have any humans. I have a halfling, a dwarf, and a half orc.
Blasphemy.
So,
Blasphemy.
there's no humans. We used to have one, but he got busy with real world shit right now. So, and part of me also, I love this. Obviously, I love the system. I think Jeff did a fantastic job with it. But I kind of want to save that wholly is like when I'm running my guys through the modules. I want them to experience the whole. And they
experience the world of Hyperborea. Yeah.
Sure.
That's what I'm trying to save it for. I think it's awesome. Like, and my only hang up of just not like when we finish this campaign, not just going over and just playing a Hyperborea game is this is the third campaign I've ran in my own setting, and my son's running a campaign in my setting, and I kind of want to continue that tradition for as long as I can keep gaming. So, but I'm fortunate that I have plenty of people time to play. Like, we have our weekly group, and when my turn comes up, I can easily run a Hyperborea module, and then the next time my turn comes up, I can run another one if I want or whatever. But I love the book. Like, the books are just like, man, they're dangerous when I pick them up, because I do have that overwhelming urge of just being say, screw all that, we're doing this, because I love those books. I love them. They're great. There's always something new in there I find, or something, between the like I told Jeff when I was at OSRCon, when I played with him, I said, you have like this great combination. Like, I think the system is so good, but then you have the setting to back it up, and it's just such a great combination that really hard to beat, in my opinion.
Yeah. And so Stan, because like, what's it like when you prep and and run the game? Like, I mean, are your players like they know, hey, this is what we're running, this is what we're pulling from CNC, this is the stuff that's getting added from Hyperborea, or do you like change that up? Or
I mean, I'm really good at bitching about stuff, but I like to also think I'm good about trying to come up with a solution and just not bitching about it. So I'll usually start like noticing things and be like, oh, I don't really like how this works, and then like I got reading, like I think one of the first things I brought over from Hyperborea was how they do like the weapon specialization. I didn't. CNC was okay. Like, I could have left it that way, but like I wanted to give them a little bit more, and where with Hyperborea, you start to actually get into multiple attacks, which you don't really get in CNC. You do, but it's like they got to be one hit dice or whatever. And I'm like, well, that's cool, but when we're 10th level, that's going to be a little limited in application, because I'm not going to throw one hit dice stuff at you all that often. So I was like, I like how CNC does it, and I like how Hyperborea does it, and I give CNC credit. It is very easy to hack that system, to add things like that. Like, it was seamless, and then so we would play it, and the guys liked it, and then I would see something else, and I'm trying to remember the other things I added. The big one was the saving throws. That at first I didn't think I was going to be able to fix that issue, to be honest, with CNC. And then I looked at Hyperborea and I was like, okay. And I played it some, and I was like, I like how they do it, but I just, because I was so locked into like the siege system. And then I sat down and I was reading the saves again in Hyperborea, and I'm like, well, why don't I just for saves abandon the siege system and use this because this works. Like, it's very simple. You have one number, like, depending on your level, and then I made some modifiers. I got some suggestions from my guys because there was stuff that I didn't think of, like, Rooster in the comments. He plays the Dwarven cleric that we have, and he was like, "Well, what about poison saves?" I'm like, "My dwarf's really." I'm like, "Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, you'll get that bonus. I'm not going to take anything away from you like that, so you'll be really good at that." And it's worked. I mean, it's worked. I mean, we're, I don't know, 4, maybe 5 seconds into using it, and it's worked really well, and they've been happy with it. I mean, and it hasn't been they're happy with it because they're always making their saves, because they're not. So it's worked. But yeah, it's usually me thinking about it, and then I'll throw it out there. Like, I have great guys that I play with, so it's like, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you guys think of that?" And they're like, "Oh," and then because again, like Matt, my friend Matt Rooster, there, he thought of the Dwarven poison save, which I had totally forgotten about. Like any sort of racial bonuses towards saves and stuff. So we factored that in. So yeah, I mean, we just do it, and then, like I said, I honestly, if it wasn't for the poor editing of the books and the lack of them really putting out anything, I mean, they're putting out tons of stuff and it interests a lot of people, and this isn't any shade towards that. It's just, it doesn't interest me that much. So it's like, I'm not excited about anything coming out. So if I'm going to keep running the system, I like to see like a new book that's like, "Oh, that's really cool." I've had the opposite effect because, like, as we've talked about, the Monster Armory books came out and those were awful. And I was excited, and then I got them and I was like, "These I'm not even going to use these." I got rid of them, sold them.
Dan, you mentioned to Paul, but you said advanced Johnson. It's an old school Shadow Dark Wizardry Conqueror King of Hyperborea.
Right.
I mean, are you actually using a mix of everything? And how do players?
There's a few rules I like to pluck for long-term campaigns, right? So, like, when I'm running OSE, I really like pulling out Heroic Funerals and Carousing from Axe, where they can make an experience fund. So if they die, their next character comes back with more experience. I pretty much use Shadow Dark's Always On initiative in everything now, where I just try to consciously go around the table and see what everybody's doing, right? Swords and Wizardry, that's my favorite, like, generic system. And Swords and Wizardry has sided D6 initiative, but there's an option to just kind of gloss over the magic missile movement melee. Just like, if your side wins, you guys go. It's fast, it's quick, it's easy. I love it. Then the enemies go. Hyperborea is my favorite, so that's like the main game I'm running, but just with a few tweaks.
With different stuff. And your players, like, you don't sound like you have any major, like, things that you're pulling or changing.
No,
your players are pretty much oblivious to it or okay with it.
It's like 90%, 95% Hyperborea. It's just like it's a lot of it's like procedures or like GM facing things that I've picked up from other systems that I like, so I just apply pretty much everywhere kind of reflexively now, like the Always On initiative from Shadow Dark.
I mean, and that's definitely it's like, I don't want to get into this debate, right? This is a huge, ridiculous, I think, argument. That's not how Gary ran it, but I mean, Gary obviously was running something that was like D&D before D&D existed, that was based on other things, and, like, there's a whole culmination of things and stuff that's happened and the game changed so much, even when Gary was running things, that I think it's very difficult to say how anybody was running it, and if that even matters, I think is,
anyone who wants to harp and preach on that can be shut down by just telling them to go read the last page of the appendices in the 1E DMG, where he basically says, it's your game, make it your own, don't be a fucking dipshit. Like, that's why the Broas are a bunch of idiots.
Well, I mean, they're definitely brash, and I don't like that. I think what's the saying, you get more
flies with honey or whatever,
or flies with honey than vinegar or whatever. Right. So I get it, right? Like, but I don't know. I mean, I get that, like I respect that they are trying to play 1E as written. And they're like going back through like the history and like trying to do things like as it was written, solely in, whatever, 1974 or, well, I guess not 74, 79, 80 or whatever at that point, which is just a weird, arbitrary kind of year for me. It makes me feel the same way like the Amish. There's a year cutoff for like
Brosar's Amish D&D.
Well, no, I mean, but yeah, I mean, kind of like I'm gonna get banned by Jeffro now, but no, like he doesn't want to. No, but like there's definitely like a year cutoff where it's like, oh, we can't use technology after 1885 or what. I'm just saying numbers. I have no idea what I'm talking about, people. Okay. I don't know. But like, you know what I mean? There's like this technology cutoff. There's a line somewhere where like, oh, they can use this or they can do that. And I think like that's where like the Bro SR falls, where they're like, okay, we're going to use this set of rules that were out in like these times. And I mean, I can respect that, right? Because like I want to go back and play White Box. White Box without Greyhawk, without all that stuff. And I understand that there's stuff that you have to add in or stuff that you have to change, but I mean, I'd like to try it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I give them credit for going back to 1E and saying, hey, we're going to try and play 1E, rules is written,
Right. But the entire premise of yelling at other people on the right way to play make-believe with dice is stupid.
Yes. No, agreed. Agreed. No, I get it. I agreed. So now I want to get back on this kind of mixed rule thing. Cause like think like Shadow Dark, the initiative thing, the torch thing. So I should say it's the initiative going around the table and the torch timer, like that stuff. I think I will carry forward forever.
Yeah. I do like the real time torch timer.
I used to do like a six piece pie, and then every room or whatever I check off a thing, and that's 10 minutes and that's an hour. But like with the torch timer, man, like when people can see that thing going down, like the turns go quicker. You know what I mean? If somebody slows down or is like, I don't know, people are like, hey man, pick it up, our torch is burning, like we got to go. But like, so that stuff like that, I think I'll go moving forward. And like, I don't want to speak for Jason here, so I'm going to let him get out on this. But I feel that if I pitched a game or started running a game where I said like, hey, I'm going to like pull all these rules randomly from like these different systems and like just start incorporating like all this stuff, I think he'd lose his mind unless it was all like collected in a list somewhere.
Yeah,
he's shaking his head. Yes.
I think that's probably accurate, but really, I would just want the rules to mesh properly. If you start just putting a hodgepodge together and it doesn't make any sense, I'm going to lose my mind. So, but yes, I can be a rules lawyer. I try really hard not to be, but it's not because I want to be like, well, actually. It's because I want to know how the system works. I want to know the proper way it's meant to run. And if we change that, I don't have a problem with it. I just want everybody at the table to know this rule has changed so that when that rule gets put into effect, we're not all sitting there going, where is this coming from? What's going on? Because then I feel like I'm being taken advantage of or being, led down the wrong road by the DM. And no one likes that. So not just me.
I think too, it's important when it comes to changing rules that you've given the system as it's written. I'm not saying you have to play every rule in the thing, but before you start making changes and bringing in rules like from Hyperborea or like I did, like I had run a lot of CNC before I brought in like the first rule. Nothing aggravates me more than like Dragonbane is my like game, the only game I've ever played where I'm like, I don't need to change anything. This game is perfect.
I love
Dragonbane. Run it. And it pisses me off when I'm on the Dragonbane Facebook page and people come in and, oh, we ought to do this. And like this guy come in and like basically wanted to turn it into 5e with bonus actions, reactions. And I was like, just go play 5e. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
like it's not 5e. It's 1,000 times better than 5e, and
Yeah.
just leave it alone. It doesn't need to be fixed. It's a great game, but you got to. I think before you start making sweeping changes or any change, play the game. Like
Yes.
people will look at it in the
Agreed.
book, and it may look like one thing in the book, but when the rubber meets the road, when you're actually playing it, it may play totally differently. You may be like, oh, okay, that didn't suck as bad as I thought it was. That didn't suck at all. That was actually, I see how that works now.
Right.
So
Which
let me ask you this, Dan. Just really quick, would Gary play Dragonbane rules as written?
Probably not. I think Gary just kind of played on vibes.
Yeah.
But no, to your point though, like I agree. You should definitely run it a good amount, as close to like as designed as you can, right? But like I've run a lot of OSE over the years. One of the things I think about OSE is it needs a gold sync. That's why I was like, you know what, the heroic funerals and the carousing rules from Axe kind of like bolt on really, really well there, because it gives the players something to spend those ridiculous amounts of gold on, especially if you have players that don't give a shit about domain play, because some don't.
Yeah. Now I haven't played Axe, but I had that problem in other versions and other games and stuff where you just have just tons of piles and piles of gold, and like, it's interesting. Like the only person that I played with that really wants to spend all their gold on putting buildings up, is Jason. He's the only one that's like, and everybody else,
Jason on the thing.
Everybody else just hoards. Like, and I mean, that's the way it was like back in the day. Like I would try and get people to do stuff like, hey, like, why don't you like build a castle? And they're like, well, because you're just gonna like invade it and blow it up or like whatever. And I'm like, well, yeah, but that's like fun. I mean, not that it's fun to like I wouldn't like say, hey, oh, by the way, your castle got destroyed, but like, no, you say, hey, there's like an army, and like now you got to get your people together, and like you got to do stuff. I don't know.
Well, and the other thing too is with the reserve XP, you can keep it at 0 HP. You're dead, because almost every single OSE game I've ever played in, with the exception of Chubby Funster, because he's mean, he has like 20 dead characters. They house rule death somehow. Either it's death at -10, or you can be maimed, or like all that other stuff, because it's pretty harsh as is. But with the reserve XP, it really works well together, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I have considered trying to work that into Shadowdark.
Yeah. I could see.
And I don't know how I want to do it yet, but
Shadowdark's weird though, because there's not like the quantities of gold are way different, right?
Right. It's like a 10th. Smaller stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think there's probably a good way to do it if you figure out like a bank, like whatever, whether it's 100 gold for 1 XP or 10 gold for 1 XP or something that you could bank for like later, something like that.
Chubby's doing something with it in Shadow Sun Revised, with creating totems to your character.
Oh, right.
But that's more or less, he's converting Dark Sun's. Dark Sun already has that in it.
Yes.
You make a group of characters, and you whenever you get experience, you get to put half of that towards one of the other characters. So he's coming up with a system basically to be similar.
No, understood. It would be interesting to convert that to base Shadowdark with only like gold or currency as the driving force.
I would definitely like to see that and see how it goes. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, as far as like running, right now I'm running Shadowdark. I think it's fine. We'll see what happens in another 7 months, 8 months, whatever it's gonna, when we hit a year, and we'll see where everybody is and where it's at, and then if it's still going great, maybe there's enough stuff with the Western Reaches, and it'll be fine, and we'll keep running it.
You guys lost still any characters?
Yeah, we've lost some people. I think Shadowdark has a good a good happy medium of, the whole death and dying thing. Like, I mean, I was always big on, you heal naturally 1 hit point per day, and that gives you, your character downtime and all that stuff. But I mean, I like the death. It's not death at 0, but you go to 0 and there's the death timer, and then you have a little bit of time to try and save the character, and then you can rest overnight and you go back up to full again. Like, I'm not a huge fan of that. I mean, I keep it in, with all the other death stuff. I think it's a good it's a good like happy medium there for like where I want to be and like where it feels good. And it's not like 5e where you've got several death saves that are that you have a more higher percent chance to make and things like that.
Well, that part of that comes back to the whole idea of most of the Shadow Dark adventures are dungeon crawls and whatever else.
Sure.
If you're going to send them into a big dungeon somewhere and it's deadly like it is, and if you're going to go with 1 hit point a day level with 1 hit point a day healing, it's going to be a whole lot of trips out of that dungeon and back.
Sure.
To town.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Where I mean, I'm not a fan of the healing overnight like that.
Yeah.
I think it takes something away from the long game. If you're playing,
I agree, 100%. Yeah.
But I guess. There's worse ways you could do it in that type of setting. I mean, it fits the way it is when you're doing the dungeon crawl, because I know my players absolutely hated it in 2nd edition. If they they're 3rd level and they get knocked down to 0 or something, they get healed back up there at 1 hit point, and they have no healing and whatnot, and they're like, oh, it's going to take us days to heal back up.
But that's when you bring out your secondary or tertiary character, and
but not everybody wants to. Not everybody wants to do that.
No, I understand that.
They don't want to play secondary or
sure.
Where you
I
get your
I get that 100%. That's the game I want to run though. So
yeah,
well,
like and
that goes kind of back to the know your audience thing, right?
Right.
Know what
and I feel, and Jason can attest to this, but I feel like I put that on the tin, when I pitch the game to somebody, like, hey, this is what it is. You'll have a stable of characters, and right. I mean, I do that, right? I mean, that's my too.
No, you did. However, I also said that that's not really what I wanted to do. I said I wanted to play, so I was going to play whatever you put out there. But as soon as Mike started saying it, that's why I pointed. I'm like, I totally agree.
Every one of my players would rather have a single character that they focus on, and
Mine too.
And I've come to realize with them that they want to play the long game with it. So playing a game like OSE and Shadow Dark might not be the way to go because it's very deadly.
It's not going to work.
Where, again, I'll use 2E as an example because it's what I'm familiar with. It's not as deadly. There's so many ways you can survive that aren't available when you're just hit point at 0 dead. No con bonus beyond 1st level, and it can be deadly. So they want more of a long form game.
Not bad.
Yeah.
I took that rule and put it in my CNC game actually.
Yep. And if you rest for a week straight, then you go back up to full, no matter how much hit points you had. So.
Yeah, even 2E, I'd have to look at the rules because it never gets to that point because usually they take a night or two. The cleric will get his spells.
Yeah.
He'll magically in between.
Right.
But it's the same type of thing. I think it's like, I don't even remember the rules because they never come up with that long of a downtime. But I think it's something similar. Like after a week, you just get them all back. Or
one E does the same thing.
You get more after a certain amount of time, and then it just ramps up.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like, so yeah, for me, like the Shadow Dark, the getting full hit points back overnight, like it doesn't fit into like the long game, but it works for, for doing stuff like that, for doing like multiple delves with the same characters. So, so I let it happen.
Dragonbane does the same. Dragonbane does the same thing. I hated it in 5e. I'll be the first to admit, and I eventually changed that rule, but. In Dragonbane, I don't mind it because Dragonbane, you don't have a lot of hit points anyway. I mean, your con score is your hit points unless you take heroic abilities to boost your hit points, and that's only doing it 2 per every time you get that heroic ability. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I play Ogre Fighter in my current Dragonbane game, and I have 22 hit points, and weapons do a crap load more damage than that, and monsters especially do more damage than that. So I don't really have a problem with it. But when you're a 5e fighter with almost 200 hit points and you fall in a vat of lava and have none, and then take a little resty and you're perfectly fine the next day, it's a load of bullshit.
Or your grave cleric casts 1 heal spell for maximum healing because you're dying in the lava.
Exactly. I know when I ran Shadow Dark, I only ran like 6 sessions before we finished the adventure, but we had a high mortality rate. Like my buddy Matt went through like 5 characters in 6 sessions, and we had 1 other character death.
Wow.
And I think it actually, it became kind of a running joke, and I don't really like that. The only thing we did add into it was the only one original character made it through that whole adventure. So every time he'd come back to town and recruit, like, new people to come out and adventure with him, the town was like, I don't know if you should go out with that guy.
I know there's
guys, but I didn't really like it. Didn't for me, like, obviously character death, but like when it was that high, it was like, man, like this doesn't read to me like lead towards like a real longevity of play. Like you can't get your feet under you, get the campaign going. And
I agree with you. I know there's a lot of people in the hobby, especially old schoolers, that seem to think like a high mortality rate is a mark of a good game.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not big on the old school style of like, hey, let's just put in death traps in here that, they'll give them next to no way to figure it out. And if they just, throw caution to the wind and walk down the hall, they're going to die. Okay. That's that loses.
Yeah, I don't like save or die. I don't like save or die stuff unless it's like, well telegraphed, or you can, there's a way to figure it out.
Yeah.
The mouth in Tomb of Horrors is like a good example of that. Like I know Tomb of Horrors is meant to be, instant death dungeon or whatever, but like the mouth, like I think that's well done. Like I'm okay with, that's you're just gonna die thing, because like you have plenty of opportunity to like not stick your head in there. You know what I mean? Like
just don't stick your head in there, you'll be fine.
You know what I mean? Like that's where like you stick an arrow or like a 10-foot pole, or you tip, the tip of your sword or something in there, and you're like, oh, fuck that,
Well, and part of the problem is when you play that style of play, especially regularly, your players are never going to fall for any of it, because they're going to get to the point where they don't trust anything you do, anything you say and anything you do. And that's not good for the game either. When they have to second guess every decision they make because they're worried that you're just trying to get them in a gotcha moment,
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. I don't know. 1 XP per 100 gold is.
If you want to get them, just throw owlbears at them.
Yeah,
that'll get them quick.
That's right.
Throw owlbears at them. Yeah, owlbears are rough. Owlbears have killed, I think, more people in my campaign than anything else. I don't know.
I've used 1 in CNC, and I was guilty of not reading all of its abilities. And then when we were in the midst of combat, and I was like, oh no,
I've done that a whole bunch of times.
This is not going to go good for you. And it did in our Dwarven Cleric for sure.
I have this bad habit. Like I've done that plenty of times. Run an entire encounter and forgot about a whole set of abilities they had, and then afterwards see it. And I have this bad habit of telling my players afterwards, like, "Oh, I screwed up. They should have done this." And I need to stop doing that, because then next time they encounter them, I just play them normally, and they'll be like, "Holy shit, what the hell just happened here?"
It was an elite.
They didn't do that last time.
That's right.
Nope.
I can get away with that too, because I'm always changing monster abilities on my player.
I am too.
What they do. So, like, if I did that, they wouldn't. They'd be like, "Oh, great! These are even more worse. These are worse than the last ones we faced. Awesome."
No, nothing I hate more is when your players are familiar with the monsters and make sure you know it. Combat comes up and they're like, "Oh, I know what this guy does." Okay, well, no, you don't.
Yeah, my guys don't do that because I think they're so used to me changing things, and they wouldn't do stuff. They don't really meta really that much anyway. So it's like
I've gotten
I'm
on
always changing stuff.
I've gotten on Jason's case about that, where I've like had to like talk to him and be like, dude, shut the fuck up. As soon as you say the name of the monster, Andrew looks it up. Like,
yeah, because it's not me, you know, like, because I know all the monsters. And so, but I look forward to fighting them. And so I will look at the other players and be like, I don't know, because Yohai has no idea what the hell this thing is. But early on, I would say, oh man, it's a piercer or it's a cloaker or whatever, because I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I get to fight this cool thing. And Roger's not BSing, man. The second the name of the monster came out, Andrew's trying to be all like no one can see him doing it, slowly flipping through the monster manual. Come on, man, what are you doing this for?
We should have like a yardstick and just like
yeah. Oh my god. It's like
none of my players would. I have had my good buddy. He has asked me like kind of like not specifically about monsters, but he's asked me kind of like meta questions, and I didn't even have to say anything. He asked me a question one time whether like somebody an NPC in the game died, and he was like, "Well," and he looked at me and he was like, "Well, did you want this to happen?" Or like he was really like asking me behind the scene questions like in game. I didn't even answer. My son was like, "He's not going to tell you that. Like, what are you doing?" And I didn't. I'm like, no. I'm like, no. You know, whatever. You guys do whatever you want. I don't care. Do what you want. I'll roll with it.
Yeah, I'm with Dave Mills on that. I've got a buddy that in his first, I ran the first campaign he was ever in, and he would get so excited when a new monster showed up, especially if it was something that was on Critical Role, which I don't watch Critical Role, so I don't know what the hell's on Critical Role because I don't give a shit about Critical Role. But I remember one combat, I mentioned the word Behir, and he was like, "Oh shit, guys, it has a lightning line breath attack." And I was like, "Nope, this one's got a cone. Fuck you, Chase."
That'll bring you.
Yeah. Curse of Strahd. Like, look up vampires in Shadowdark. They're like really rough. Like you could see where Kelsey was like, oh, vampires aren't that great. That's not me. Okay. No, vampires like aren't that great, so we're gonna make them really badass in Shadowdark. So, it's interesting seeing some of that stuff. Edgelord, a little late to the party here, but Rappanuffuk is number one. Yeah,
it is, because it's not just the dungeon, and there's hundreds of square miles of overworld to explore and interact with.
Yeah. I want to run Hot Springs Island.
Hot Springs Island's fun.
Like that's the one I want, and I know that's small.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're 2 mile hexes. I think 1 or 2 mile hexes.
That sounds right. Yeah.
So it's really small, but it's, and it's probably only like 20, 25 hexes or something. But it seems really cool. It seems really fun. So
I like that it has the little journal extra book.
Yeah.
Give your players. That's really cool.
Yes. There's a book. Yeah, there's the setting, but Jason would eat that up. That'd be awesome. There's a book that's, I don't know if we've talked about this. There's a book that you can buy that's like the setting book for Hot Springs Island. And it's actually a book that you could find in game.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. So like your players come across it and then you can like physically hand them the book, and it's got like art and stuff of like certain plants and stuff in it. Yeah.
It's got information on the island that you can use.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's got like journal entries from people that have died on it and like what the different plants do. It's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's cool stuff. Vic, I'm glad that you didn't add the silver stake shotgun, because somebody like Jason would probably like one shot Strahd or something. It would just be
These
bad.
things happen.
Yeah. So that's really cool. I think Hot Springs Island, like I'd like to run that. Maybe with Shadowdark, maybe with OSE. I don't know. OSE is probably a better fit for it, but
you could do it with either. I mean, it's pretty low level, so you might have to tweak with the scaling in Shadowdark a bit. But
Shadowdark, I think it works fine. Like until maybe like 5th level, the levels start to double.
Yes.
You know, like 5th level is probably closer to 7th level, and then
yeah,
6th level is probably like 8. Just because it's I think because of the spell casting for the most part, does it.
Yeah, and it depends on a lot on if they get advantage on certain spells. Then it's like those are functionally limitless. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see like advantage on fireball with like
Been there.
a +6 or something, like would just get old. Because that's a tier 3, so you need a 13. So if you need a 7, with advantage.
With advantage.
I told you, I think that's the major downfall with Shadow Dark. I think as you level up higher levels, you're just going to get so many of those. When you pick your advantages, there's only a few choices, so you're going to get like as a caster, you're going to get the +2 intelligence or the +2 your spell casting or advantage on a spell. And then all of a sudden here you are at 8th level hurling fireballs left and right with advantage and bonuses to attack. And
Shadow Dark can very quickly go from like survival oriented, like darkest dungeon crawl style to like immediate gonzo with 1 level
like heroic.
Yeah.
And that was like my issue with DCC. And you're all glass cannons, and especially like the mages, it gets out of control in a hurry. And so like trying to prep for that is just, it's crazy. Like I had issues with that where like you don't know where you want to be.
You're still pretty fragile though in Shadow Dark once you get to higher level. I played it until 8th level. It's pretty fragile. I mean, I was a 8th level wizard with 15 hit points. It did not take a lot to and I had a great, like I got some of those like advantages or whatever they're called, where my intelligence got boosted, my spell casting, I had a +7 to like spell casting. I was still failing rolls. It happens. Like you never get into a superhero. Like I see it with like what you're saying, Roger, with DCC, because in our time with that, we've had casters and some of the I mean, it was great because it saved our ass, but I could see like once they got even, and that was at lower levels, but once it got even higher, I could see how it would get, right off the rails.
Yeah.
I don't think Shadow Dark ever gets that way. Not in my experience with it anyway.
You're still playing in Ravenloft, right?
No, we finished that adventure. We're going to Dark Sun next.
Oh, okay.
Whenever that Game Master's turn comes up again.
I was just looking at magical leeches. They're a Ravenloft monster. I'd never seen them before. They're low level, 20 Thaco, whatever. Think of them like a rust monster, except they leech magic out of items, and they can leech spells off of casters.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
That'd be a fun.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe not to drain magic items, because that would kind of suck as a player.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to really telegraph it and they know what they're going against.
Well, yeah. And I mean, a lot of that stuff got put in, I think, just to handle the players, that got like a ton of stuff. And so the GMs like if you're running the game like normal, and they have the appropriate amount of, magic items and stuff, I think it's fine. I think those things like exist just because like, oh, this player's got, whatever, Rod of Lordly Might or whatever, just something that's just broken. And you're like, okay, we gotta, this is broken. It's causing issues. Instead of the GM just, having a conversation with the player, saying, hey, this thing's a problem. We all agree on it. Like it's got to go. You put something like that in the game, and then you can just say, oh, it eats your thing, and that's it. Yeah. And now it's just a stick. Yep. Vic, what are you trying to say in the chat that is just so offensive that you're getting blocked?
He's getting censored by.
What are you doing?
YouTube.
By YouTube, yeah.
It's because you're saying dang chats or something. I don't know.
Gosh, diggity dang it.
Gosh dang it. I don't mind characters getting to do cool stuff eventually. I want people in Blacklight to be some Delta Force badasses at higher level. Yeah, you know what, Vic? I like that too. I want them to be Delta Force badasses at higher level. Jason wants them to be Delta Force badasses at level 1 because, you know, technically they're in Delta Force. and if they made it through SEAL training or the Marine Corps thing,
I disagree.
No,
I disagree with that. No.
Oh, okay.
The character classes are designed so that if you pick up a military type class, you have bonuses that the civilian types will not.
Oh, okay.
Whereas the civilian types have bonuses that the military classes don't have. My only beef is when first level characters just don't know anything at all about anything. I find that irritating. Okay. But you know, for something like Blacklight, you know, again, we've talked about this before. I want balance in my games, and that doesn't mean that every character, you know, every class has to have, you know, be equal in some way to every other class, because then you're just playing vanilla and that's boring.
Sure.
But no, my first level character doesn't have to be a badass. I just don't want her to have one hit point and die half an hour into the game, because that sucks.
So for this, so for those of you out there that don't know, I know I've said this a bunch of times, but I'm planning on running Blacklight with Castle Ravenloft, kind of a pared down version of Castle Ravenloft, just so I can do it in, you know, a few hours instead of, you know, a huge thing. But I definitely want to do it for the convention. I think I'm going to do it Thursday night if there's enough people, if there's enough interest. I don't know anybody that's interested.
I am.
Yeah, I know. It's like everybody's like, yeah, it sounds awesome. So I think
40 people
I'm gonna,
table.
Yeah, right. So I think I'm gonna go with 5th level characters. Like, and I don't know if you guys have looked at the Vampire and Shadow Dark, and I mentioned that before, but they're badass. Like, my original intention, thinking about it, was, okay, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna take the Shadow Dark Vampire, and I'm gonna like bring it up a little bit because it's Strahd, you know, and make him like a badass. But I'm really on the fence as to whether a group of 5th level characters with assault rifles can take down a vampire in Shadow Dark, because they're that badass. Like, I don't know. So, I mean, we're going to try it. I guess. Emperor's Choice. Power attracts power. Yeah, that's something interesting too. And I like that. So basically, the more powerful you get, the more other powerful things kind of know you exist, and they will come after you. So if you get that broken staff, then, you know, some high power or a bunch of high power mages who want that staff are going to come after you. So, like, I like that. Yeah, only one way to find out. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely, and definitely hit up Arduin. Guys, Emperor's Choice, they're amazing. They got a bunch of stuff going on. They're going to be running a bunch of games. I think they got like 5 or 6 games on the schedule, something like that. Just awesome stuff. Their minis are just
awesome.
I love Metal Cast minis. I just, you know, it really takes me back. They look phenomenal. Stan has painted up a bunch of them for the auction with some terrain that Mike painted up. And man, that stuff looks absolutely amazing. I can't wait to get that stuff all together on the table so everybody can see it. It's going to be awesome. What? Edgelord? Wait, it's on schedule? What's on schedule?
He's talking about your Blacklight game that you're going to run on Thursday night.
Oh, it's not on the schedule. No. It's in my head.
It's for those that show up on Thursday.
It's for those cool people that are coming in on Thursday.
Like me.
which, like
Yeah, like
you,
me.
Yeah.
like all of you guys, well, probably maybe Mike. I don't know. We don't know. I got to convince him. But, but Edgelord, I mean, I don't know. You might not show up till Friday, so you might miss out on all the cool stuff. But Vic, I don't know what you think, but tell me what you think. What level characters? If there's half a dozen Blacklight guys, what level should they be to have a decent chance to go against a vampire in Shadowdark? What do you think? So yeah, I forbid Dan from playing Blacklight. Don't let him in.
Wow. Listen, let me ask you a question. Have you ever watched a movie where anybody ever beat vampires with their guns? No. They always lose. They always get slaughtered.
Well, I mean,
it's the way it should be.
Yeah, I'll say this: it is going to be Castle Ravenloft pared down. Not the whole map, but so there will be things that are out there. So the Sun Sword will be out there. So, I mean, that's gettable. So somebody can.
So you're going to send Blacklight guys in there, Delta Green guys in there, looking for the Sun Sword to fight Strahd? I mean,
no. I mean, Blacklight has they have like UV bullets and stuff like that, so that do like extra damage, and so there's definitely cool stuff like that. There's like flashbang grenades, and that like damage. I think it does like 1d6 damage extra to like things that are sensitive to light or something like that. I don't know exactly. So there's stuff like that. Yeah. Sent the Ravenloft to actually hit Strahd at pretty high levels. Yeah, 5+ is good. Okay. Yeah, fantastic.
I feel like I should rewatch the Blade movies so I can like get all the good lines in my head before this game.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Catch you fuckers at a bad time.
I haven't watched those in forever. Damn, that and Underworld or something like that.
Yeah,
still.
Yeah,
Underworld. I like those movies. I don't think they did that great. I don't think they did that great back in the day.
I never knew in the movie there's that guy. He's a huge black guy that's that werewolf. Like I didn't realize he was the guy that wrote it.
Oh,
that's cool.
Really?
I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
I saw it on something like he was the writer for it. I was like, oh no shit, that's awesome.
Shit.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love those movies.
Kevin Graveau.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I googled it.
Okay.
AI would never lie, right, guys?
Yeah. No. It would never lie or make anything up.
My favorite Blade line wasn't even from one of the Blade movies. It was from the last Deadpool movie. When Wesley Snipes is up top talking about there's only ever been one Blade, only ever going to be one Blade. I was like, yes.
That was good.
Fact.
Oh man, we watched that. I don't know, last week. One night, Gene and I were hanging out, and Chloe was, I think, staying at a friend's house or something. And we were flipping through, just what do you want to watch? You want to watch this? You want to watch that? And we were and she was like, hey, do you want to watch Wolverine and Deadpool again?
Yes.
Like, yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Those Blade movies are on like every freaking week on cable.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because I go up to bed. My wife's always asleep when I go up to bed. She's always got the TV on, puts it on certain stations. And it's like half the time I go up there, it's either a Marvel movie or, well, that would be Blade too. But it's, generally it's, Blade's been on quite a bit lately when I go up there.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I haven't seen those movies in a long time.
Same.
I haven't either.
But now I'm going to watch them on the plane.
There you go. I mean, the last time I think I saw it was like Blade 3, and that the last time I watched that was probably, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years ago or something. I think I watched it.
Edgelord, I agree. The best part of Underworld was Kate Beckinsale in those outfits.
Yes.
Chef's kiss.
She's just as good today.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Has she been in other movies? I don't even know.
Oh yeah,
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't-
But
it
not
doesn't
not
matter.
wearing not
No.
wearing a tight fitting latex suit or whatever it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, those are great books, Vic. I've read the first like 3 of those a while back. Those are awesome.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to run them. I think I did. I think I did a decent job running Blacklight when I did it. I'll pat
I
myself
thought it
on the
was
back.
great. Yeah, seriously. And I've said this before. Yes, we've talked about this before. I had a blast with it. I loved it. It was a one shot. I would have gladly have kept going with it. Had a great time.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. You think we can roll up characters on the spot, or should I was going to pre-gen them all, but I'm considering.
Pre-gens are great because you don't have to worry about rolling the dice. But I mean, they follow the Shadowdark rules: 3d6 straight down the line. Play what you got.
Yeah, and then leveling up to 5th level isn't.
The 5th level is going to start causing people to wonder, and you're rolling. Wait, you get another roll. You get 2 rolls at first, and then one at second, and one at fourth. So really, you're only rolling for 4 skills.
Third at odd levels.
Is it? Oh, so third and
So
fifth,
3 and
then.
5, but yeah.
So still same amount. You're getting 4 rolls.
Isn't only humans that get? Well, you guys are only playing.
It's only humans and black
Yeah.
light anyway.
It's only humans in Blacklight, yeah. So they get the bonus, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's not terrible. I think what I want to do is I want to print up, if I have time, I'm going to print up. I'd like to do pre-gens, but then have like all the equipment. I want to print up like cards, and like laminate them so that I could just put stuff out on the table and be like, okay, here's the equipment loadout. And then, everybody based on their
that'd be great.
strength can know what to take, instead of giving everybody the book and having to write all that stuff down.
Yeah.
Like this way, it's just on separate cards. But
I'm a huge fan of pre-gens at cons just because
Yeah.
I've
Just sit
played
down and
games where
play.
I've been given the opportunity to make our character, or you could use a pre-gen. I just grab pre-gen.
Yeah, same.
yeah,
It's a
I
con
plan
game.
on making pre-gens for my my Shadow Rim game, just because I just want to be able to have the guy sit down and start playing.
yeah. I don't know.
that's
It's
what I wanna do.
interesting. Like, even if you're and do that right. Like, I'm perfectly fine with using pre-gens for a game, but man, like Shadow Dark, I guess it depends on the group. If you get people that are, if you get people that have played games before and stuff, like it's not that hard to say, oh, we're gonna roll up a first, because you could do it in less than a minute, I think.
Yeah, it's super easy.
You
You're,
can.
you're not playing Rifts or Palladium or any craziness like that. So
You can, but it still took my guys over a fucking hour to make characters because it was brand new to them. So they wanted to read through them and then weigh the options and
sure, yeah.
Just give them something to, hey, pick this,
Yeah.
Like most.
Really, Vic? Wow, Vic. It's interesting that we're like opposite on like some of the stuff. Like I would definitely give them 2 rolls at first level, because they're humans, and that's the rules. And I think they deserve it anyway. But
I was gonna say I wouldn't give them 2 rolls if you're not using the other races, because that's the whole point of it, because they don't have some of the abilities the other races have. If you don't have
I get what you're saying.
You're not trying to buff them up to match the other races.
Yeah,
I mean, you could do it if you want, but
I would, and especially for this
you're
because
soft.
Because I don't know if they're going to do it. No, it's interesting, like soft, but like Vic and I got into like the opposite argument about the about rolling for reloading and stuff, and I was like, no, it's the rule you do in every combat. And he was like, well, if the guy just shoots a goblin in the head, and I'm like, no, damn it, he squeezed the trigger and unloaded 20 bullets.
And
he got nervous.
And that was one of the things that was a serious point of contention for me, because trigger discipline is that's a fundamental of shooting. And you're like we're talking about being you're a Delta Force guy or a SEAL.
Yeah.
No trained soldier goes in and just starts spraying and praying. That's ridiculous to do that. So yeah, I agree with Vic. You definitely don't re-roll, or roll every time you have an encounter. But if it's hot and heavy, then yes, you should definitely roll. The two rolls on the ancestry. If we're not using ancestry, I don't have a problem just rolling once. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I think for this especially, like the second roll, I think it's needed. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm just looking at the numbers.
I wouldn't have a problem, obviously. I mean, if you're going to give me a bonus, I'm going to take that bonus. So I'm cool either way. But we have wandered wildly off the topic.
Oh, we wandered. Yeah, we wandered. Yeah.
You have asked us all what we think it takes. What do you think it takes to run a good game?
Oh, Jesus. See, I didn't want to get into this because I think I feel like. Yeah, I know, but I feel like that it's going to sound like I'm just patting myself on the back here. And I mean, sometimes that's hard to get back there.
Mike and I will shoot you down very quickly. So proceed.
No, I think to run the game, right? At least to run the game halfway decently, you need to be somewhat, versed in the rules. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say that you have to be well versed and you have to know every rule, because that's crazy. Because I don't, and everybody's got to start somewhere, and whatever game you run, But I think that's the most important thing, is that you have to be able to, you have to read the rules, and you have to at least semi understand the basic kind of concept of the game. Like in Shadow Dark, you need to understand, okay, everything's a stat roll. Basically a DC 12, and you're starting from, like, you have to kind of fundamentally understand that. And you need to kind of know where to find the rules that you're playing with, so that you can, flip to something quick if possible, especially when you're new, because you don't know, you might not understand how to change the rules or how to make a ruling. And I know that, like, the OSR group, they love to push, rulings over rules. It's great. But if you don't know, like, what a good ruling is, like, it that doesn't mean anything. So while you're learning that, you really need to have a good understanding of the basic of the rules.
You do kind of, you kind of have to know the actual rules to be able to make good rulings.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
One thing I'll add to what you said, though, is, you don't have to know all the rules to be able to run the game. But if you're not going to know all the rules before you run it, you better have a group that has at least somebody in the group with a competent understanding of the rules, and that's somebody that's not, I don't know, I know, like Stan's got the unicorn group that does nothing wrong, but I mean, I've seen plenty of players that, they look in the book and they read the part that's good for them, and they ignore the part that's bad for them. You can't.
Dude,
I've had that.
You cannot have. If you're not going to know all the rules, and you've got another player that's helping with the rules as you guys are learning it, he better not be one of those players. It's got to be somebody that is willing to look at the entire set of rules.
It's funny that's something that Dan and I were talking about. Was it earlier today?
I think so. Yeah.
We were talking about that.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, you got people that'll only read the rules that are advantageous to them, and that's it.
You and I talked about that last night.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, it's funny how that works. Yeah, no, like with a good group, like the GM can definitely be, less inexperienced, if the group is willing to learn the game together. Like, I remember when I first started, right? Like, I had the basic box set, or Mulve Basic. I got it at a garage sale, and I played it with, like, my cousin, his girlfriend, this girl that I met on the beach. Like, it was complicated. I don't know. Maybe she was a girlfriend. I don't know. It was weird. I was young. I was a kid. I didn't realize it at the time that was going on until looking back later. Like, I don't know. Anyway, we like I tried to like run it and play it, and I'm sure I did a horrible job. I know that I didn't know rules. I was trying to flip through the book and learn it as I was running it, and like I said, I'm sure I did a horrible job at it.
Did anybody complain?
No.
Did everybody have fun?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it seems so. Yeah, right. But I mean, I wasn't playing how Gary wrote it, so well, he didn't write that, but
I don't think Gary played it. Gary didn't play it like Gary wrote.
No, I know. Yeah. I'm just teasing. But yeah, and so so I think that's part of it. If you have like a group that's willing to kind of just go along with it and play, but like if you're going to learn the rules and if you're going to play a game, you should learn the rules. And if the group is with you to say, okay, yeah, we'll kind of figure this out together. And that's kind of how it was with CNC. I mean, although it was mostly like Jason and I mean, I think the other guys, I don't know, didn't really want to put in like the effort to look stuff up unless it was to their own advantage or whatever. But, no offense, guys, if you're watching, but I mean, let's be honest, right? So I mean, I think that was
Andrew knows we're talking about him.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, so yeah, so I mean, I think that's like the most important thing, and like now for someone that's more experienced, right, in running, I think the most important thing is the staying on track. Whether that means keeping the players, like on task, or at least in the game, and also keeping yourself there. And I think that's kind of forgotten with GMing. But if you get to a point where you're running something and like we call it the loading screen, right? Like I've heard that term like around a lot. Like if you've got 5 people that are like waiting on you, and you're like, oh, hang on, I got to find this thing. And I'm guilty of it. I still do it sometimes. Like, I get it. But, like, you got to be able to get past that and just make a ruling or make something up, or just to keep the, keep the game moving. I think that's like the most important thing. But not for somebody that's new. Because when you're new, you can't. Like, you're always loading. And if you start thinking about it, it'll take longer to find stuff. So
that's why I really like knowing the adventure or knowing the world that I'm running in, because then it's much easier to pull things out of my ass in those moments.
Yes. Yeah. No, and I've done that plenty of times.
I did it like 6 times last night.
Yeah. Like just for the sake of, I don't know what's over here, so I'm just going to go with it. Like you got to be able to just go with the information that you have that is on hand right now.
Yep. And
if you're 75% of the way there, then you're golden. If you're not and you end up going sideways, well, then you got to really be good in order to try and fix it, while you're playing to make everything, make sense again. Which, I mean, I've had to do. And I mean, hopefully people don't see it when I've had to do that. But yeah, improvise, adapt, overcome. Is that like that sounds like a Marines slogan. Is that Jason's shaking his head? Is that something?
So Heartbreak Ridge?
You're muted or something. I can't hear you.
There. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, that's the Marines. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Yeah. It should be universal. It shouldn't just be the Marines, because that's what you do, especially as a DM. I didn't want to interrupt you. You're talking about the loading screen, vapor lock. It happens to players all the time. That indecision that locks you in.
Yeah.
But for me, when it happens to me as a DM, like you're talking about, there's 5 people waiting for you. They're all looking at you.
Yeah.
Like, we're waiting on you, dude. What are you doing? And it's not like you can skip the guy's turn. They're waiting on you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God.
One turn that can't be skipped.
Right.
Yeah. It's rough. It's rough when everybody's waiting on. Like, what I found works is to try and reverse it back and like attempt to stall by asking the player a question. Like when the players go into the room and you know that there's like, oh, there's a tapestry over here, and like you got to look up whether there's a secret door or whatever, and if they're a trap or whatever. While I'm doing that, I'll like try and turn it around and say, okay, yeah, there's this kind of ornate tapestry. What do you guys want to do? And then I frantically start looking through the book while the players are just, even if it's like 5 seconds of them saying, oh, we're going to go examine the tapestry or whatever. But that gives you 5 seconds to like, read the next line, if you have to, to try and kind of get there. So, yeah, let them wait. Let them wait.
So
it's crazy.
So you're saying you're the GM you talked about earlier that doesn't prepare.
No. I'm saying when there's times, what I'm talking about. Like I try and read ahead, unless it's like my Shadow Dark game. I'll admit, like I've done less of that, like because we're going to a bunch of caves, which is somebody's redone version of Caves of Chaos,
Right.
Keep on the Borderlands, and I've kind of read all of that, and so I have a good idea of what's going on there. So I really don't have to, like prep too much.
So, but it's funny you mentioned that. That's why I color code my highlighters. Right. One is
Yeah.
green is NPCs, blue is treasure, red is traps, orange is monsters, and yellow is just interesting shit. So, but it helps when you're like, okay. You can see it right away.
Yeah. When I'm going through a module to prep a module, I generally underline stuff or star stuff. I generally don't like to switch like highlighters and stuff. It's like just too much work to like change pens. I don't know. I just underline stuff. What's that?
When you're prepping? It's too much work?
Yeah.
It's
too much work. You gotta make it easy, man. No, to switch.
There's a
like
green and a
on.
yellow and a pink one. Oh,
that's
really?
like way
and a blue
way
and an orange.
That's way too complicated. 5 different colors.
Oh my goodness.
No, I'll go through and I'll underline stuff. That's like the important kind of things, or I'll star like really important stuff.
Yeah.
Or circle things. But that's it. That's
Public
kind of
education in Utica was rough, wasn't it?
Yeah, well,
You've been to Utica?
Yeah, you've been here, Musket.
Still probably better than Chicago public schools.
Well, rough. Oof. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, when I went through, we weren't going through metal detectors every day. just on occasion.
Yeah, I don't think any of us were when we went to school.
Now it's an everyday thing, and it's crazy. It's crazy out there. But yeah, I Agile. You mentioned astonishing swordsmen and sorcerers of Hyperborea. I'm kind of like upset that Jeff changed the name. I know Hyperborea is short, sweet, it's simple, and all of that, but I don't know. I like Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea. It's my
It does have gravitas to it.
Yeah. I like it. But yeah, I mean, so that's my kind of thing is, and I mean, know your audience. That's kind of been mentioned a lot, but I mean, you definitely want to play to the crowd, right? Like and that's sort of figuring out what you want to run and what you're going to do, all, like what system and what module you're going to run. Like, I mean, I wouldn't run like our guys, like at first level or lower levels. Like I wouldn't run them through like Tomb of Horrors or anything like that. Or, I mean,
even suggested at higher levels. So
I wouldn't run. Yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't run anybody.
Right, even at higher levels. Like, yeah, that's
awful.
That's something that I would run to say, like at some point, and say, hey, let's do this. Let's make up like 15th level characters. And
that's a one shot with
play it. Yeah, play it and have fun and see what happens, and we'll laugh it off, and it'll be great. But I mean, I wouldn't want to do that with someone's actual. Yeah, I wouldn't want to actually do it with someone's like real 15th level character, right?
Yeah,
like the character that they've played every week for like the past 3 years and got them to 15th level just to try and open a door and the ceiling collapses
I don't think they'd be happy with you.
There's no saving throw. There's no do not
dead.
pass go. There's just like, oh, the ceiling collapses, they die, they can't get out in time.
And that's why I said earlier, there's still a part of this community that thinks that's great.
Yeah, I don't
like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not down with that.
For a con game, sure.
Yeah.
Right. That's why
not for a campaign.
Yeah, you get some pre-gens that you don't care about.
Yeah.
And then it's a goal to see how long can we last and make it fun.
Sure.
But if you're going to take their characters they've leveled for 2 years into that and then just kill them like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how many people out there are actually like that. I know there's people that say that stuff, but I don't know.
It could be. It could be just their.
Yeah.
They say it.
I mean, because like I said, like those modules I think are fun, but like you just can't. You can't do them with characters that have been built up over time. Right. It's just not something you want to do. I mean, maybe a player wants to do that, and that's just crazy. The whole risk reward thing. But
I'm playing Expedition of the Berry Peaks on Bill Sylvie's channel on Fridays. I'm playing a level 12 fighter. I died because I ate a steak and it was poisoned, and I dropped over dead because I rolled a 2 on my d20. If I had been playing a level 12 fighter that I was playing for like 2 or 3 years to get to that point, I would have been pissed.
I don't know if you know this yet, Dan.
Yeah.
So maybe spoilers here, but it's a spaceship.
You don't say. Golly gee.
I love that module. I love that module.
It's so like I'm obviously familiar with it. It's my first time actually playing it though. So but it's been a lot of fun.
It's cool. It's cool. Yeah, no, you're definitely right though. Like it's definitely in those old modules. Like a lot of them have like the save or die stuff.
Yeah.
And and hopefully you're smart enough to get through them. Like I don't know. Like again, we could talk about whether Gary ran it that way or whatever. But like I think the issue is nowadays we want to run it rules as written, and I think like yeah, okay, if the steak is poisoned and like it's there and you eat it, like you're gonna make a save, like maybe a save or die or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But like I'd like to think anyway that there were signs that you didn't read that told you don't eat the steak.
Nope.
No?
Nope. It's just literally in the module. It's like everything you eat's got a 1 in 4 chance of being a save or die poison thing. So
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
like telegraphing, right? Like if there's
telegraphing, right.
a glowing gem in the center of the room surrounded by 20 decomposing corpses, maybe don't touch the gem.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't touch it, you think?
Yeah.
Because I've got people in my group that would say, oh, I want to hit it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
let's see what happens.
Wait, are we still talking about Kate Beckinsale on Underworld?
Yeah.
No, okay.
Ooh.
I would say that too, if we're talking about that.
Yeah. Wow. Got me thinking. All right, but yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's a vending machine on the spaceship. You should have known better.
Of course, yeah, because I was just like, ooh, steak. Nom 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 nom.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I don't know. Yeah, we've said some stuff, but yeah, definitely like play to your audience. Like if there's if you're running for a bunch of kids or you're running for a bunch of people that are that have played games for 30 years, like I mean that's there's definitely a huge huge difference. I don't even want to touch that one. I don't know. This is that one will get us oof.
Get us all banned.
So
wow.
I love how this is devolved into a conversation about how safe it is to eat food out of a vending machine.
You're welcome.
On a spaceship.
Oh my God. Man, I guess it depends on whether it's like if it's been sitting there or if it's like a replicator, right? Because you get the Star Trek fake economy that everybody gets anything they want immediately from a replicator. So yeah, I mean, I think that's my that's my thing is just like be prepared, right? Like that's the whole That's like the whole thing. Like, you got to read ahead a little bit. You got to know your audience. You kind of got to know the system. And that's kind of my my whole thing, I guess. That's what I think. I don't know. I don't know what you guys, if you guys got anything else on that, or
I think, like what you were saying, though, like know your audience. I think that's important because you see a lot of channels and stuff, people giving out advice, and it's good advice, but I think often gets lost is, people come to the table for different reasons. Like I got a good friend of mine that I game with. He's a high school teacher. He has to deal with that all week, and then he's played in games where he shows up on Friday. He just wants to, kick indoors and kill stuff. Like he's not looking to get anything too complex, because that's all his brain can handle. He wants to play, but he's like, I just don't want to like get super deep. Like I want to play a guy that's just gonna kick some ass. And then other times he'll play very complex and more interesting characters. But I think that's what I see a lot with advice. People come in and like, anytime anybody ever is like, there's only one way to do something, I usually don't listen to that person.
Yeah, and you know what? It's interesting because like, and I said the story earlier about playing the One Ring game. Like, if Jason and I were sitting at the table, and the other 4 people at the table were like, "Hey, let's go and do the thing," and like, let's move, let's get to the cave. We'll go find the guy and the stolen fireworks, and like, let's boom, let's go. Like, then that would have been a different game. And like, usually in a game like that, I try and be okay, sure, we'll do the thing. Maybe make us, hey, maybe we should do this. But like, if that's what the group wants to do, like, like I'm not going to plant my flag and say, no, we're hobbits, we have to eat every 20 minutes. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? If the players are like, boom, 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 let's go. Then like, okay, yeah, let's do that. It's fine. And that game turns out, a different way. Right. But like, everybody at the table was like, hey, we're hobbits. We're content to sit here and, and do this. And the GM at that point, I think should have been the one to say, like, to pivot the game
that has to
and
happen.
Say, okay.
That's a huge ability for a good game master. A good game master will have that ability.
Yeah. Because it was like,
read the room and pivot to what needs to be done.
Like, we missed lunch, and I was like, we got to find food. And like, he would get frustrated, but the rest of the group was like, yeah. And he's like, okay, you find some food, you put it in your pocket for later. And the other group, the rest of the group is like, what did we get? Did we find those little sausages? I love those little sausages.
Mushrooms.
Oh man.
And then like somebody says that, and like another guy is like, oh, are they the sweet ones or the hot ones? I really like the sweet ones. And it's like, we got into this conversation, and the GM is like, yeah, you got whatever you want. Sure, you are, okay. And you guys are going up the hill to the place. GM. And I'm like, whoa. We can't walk. We just ate.
It's like swimming.
Oh man.
You can't swim right after you eat.
And Roger, it looks like the AMS is working.
Oh, cool. It's awesome. Nice.
Good.
Nice. And then we get to the end, and like, there's a hobbit that's like trying to blow up a wall in a mine with
he
like,
was trying to expedite his mining.
And, fireworks. He's got like a bucket of them or something up against the wall. Yeah. And he's like going to light them. And Jason's like, yeah, that's not going to work, dude. Like, I don't.
I was an engineer in the Army. I know a lot about explosives, and I was arguing with the guy. I'm like, no, the blast overpressure alone is going to just liquefy you. You can't do it like this. And the DM was like,
he was so mad.
What are you doing? And I was like, I'm a dwarven miner. I'm an expert in this field. I will educate this young man on how to do this properly. And there was nothing he could say about it because that was my character. It really was. And it was just, everything went the way that the DM did not want it to go. But everybody at the table, aside from the DM, was laughing their asses off. We had such a good time eating lunch and trying to talk this guy into not blowing himself up. It was a great time, except for the DM. Whatever.
Yeah, where's the shape charge in the deck cord? Yeah,
that's right.
It was awesome. No, but the players like that, and like the GM, like if he, like I hate to be this rude, right? But like if he pulled his head out of his ass and looked around the table and saw that everybody was having a good time, like, and went with it, I mean, I think it would have been so much better.
He just so much better. He couldn't get the stiffness out of his neck to just join in and have fun with the group. He couldn't do it.
Yeah. And I mean, he gets put the blinders on. He's like, okay, I've got this amount of time. I've got to run this module. We're going to do this, and this, and like wanted to push the players through. And like, I get some of that, you know, because I mean, I get like that sometimes where it's like, okay, I want to get to here. Let's go. Let's do the thing. Come on. And then, you know, the player, but like if everybody's having a good time, like doing something else, like
let them have a good time.
Let's like, you guys want to bet on donkey races in the city? Like, okay, sure. Like one player says that, and then everybody else is like, yeah, that sounds amazing. Like, okay, well, I guess we're figuring out rules for how donkey races work. You know what I mean? If everybody's like all for it, like, sure, you know, let's do it. But yeah, it's, you know, I don't know that there's definitely, you know, that's definitely a trick. I mean, that's something that you got to kind of figure out, you know, pretty quick, I think, you know, at being a GM. And maybe this was his first time running. No, because he had said that he ran for that other guy, the other guy at the table he had played with.
And that was, I really feel that was part of it. Man, we've really derailed. But, you know, when we sat down, he was talking about how he's an expert at, you know, Lord of the Rings. It's like he's read it all. You know, I can't even understand Elvish. I mean, he reminded me of that DM that was running Star Trek for us. That was, you know, the guy showed up in his Captain Kirk, you know, the gold outfit.
Yeah.
He
was reading the module as he was playing it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was the same thing as Lord of the Rings. And he just couldn't set that aside and have fun. That's too bad, but whatever.
And I mean, that's a thing that's what you got to learn, you know, to, you know, as far as what it takes, right, to run the game. Like, that's a thing. And, you know, and the funny part of it is like at the end, like we finished in like an hour and a half or like 2 hours. And he was like, wow, that was like a lot quicker than I thought. And I was like, yeah, you cut out. I was like, yeah, like if you took the Lord of the Rings trilogy and you cut out all the eating and the walking, it's 20 minutes. Like, of course, like, you know,
if it was movies of a bunch of guys walking to a freaking volcano.
But like, you pull all the travel out and it's like, oh wow, this is, you know, this is short now.
I mean, there's a reason that game has such robust travel rules. You know, because it's a big part of the
And we didn't do it. We went from one town to the next. He's like, yep, a few hours later, you end up here.
Yeah.
And then, and he's like, okay, you guys ready to go to the mine? And then that's when I was like, well, what time is it? And he was like, it's 1:30 in the afternoon. I'm like, fuck, we missed lunch. I'm starving.
It's onesies.
And then somebody else is like, I'm feeling a bit peckish. Oh man, that was great. I got to try and run that game. I got to try and run it.
I'd be happy to play it.
I do. I got to try it.
Makes me want to pull my book off the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I got the starter set. I want to run that. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I don't know.
Moria.
But that's you know, I don't know what it takes to run the game. I don't know. I don't think I got anything else. I don't know. I mean, other than, you know, just go where the group goes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But and don't stall. You know? Put set a timer for yourself. You know, I don't know how you get there, right? Because I don't know how I got there. I guess I got there just from, you know, being nervous when you got 5 people staring at you, waiting. You know, you just learn to, like, you know, deal with it or come up with something, and just to
I know
keep
how I got there.
everything moving.
Ton experience.
Yeah, I got there for my job because I'm in consulting, and when they're paying you to be the smartest guy in the room, if someone asks you something, you have to have a real good reason why you don't know, real fast.
Yeah. No, I mean, that does it, right?
It translates immediately to gaming.
Yeah.
We want to go over here.
No,
okay, there's a temple. Go.
Yeah. Yeah, you put something there and then throws it right back on the players, and it gives you time to figure it out.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. It's cool. Yeah. Oompa, Pizzazz, Moxie, all that fun stuff. Yeah. No crying. I think I missed some stuff. Kill harder and high level players without flinching. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. With no warning whatsoever.
Yep, no telegraphing at all.
No telegraphing.
Poison space vending machines.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like telegraphing is an important skill, but to me, that's not like one of the first. Like, just don't do save or die stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like because you don't know how to telegraph stuff, so don't do things like that, especially when you're first starting off. Like, don't put like a horde of monsters that the players can't beat somewhere. If you don't know how to telegraph that, I think that's important. I don't know, but that's what I think. What do you guys think? You guys got anything else on that, or?
I got nothing.
What it takes to run the game. Looks like we're running out of daylight for Ducato over here.
I got one last thing. When your players come up with an idea that's better than what you had, roll with it.
Roll with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Don't be beholden to a module or an adventure or whatever pre-written story you had. Just if it sounds awesome, just be like, yes, that is it. Let's go.
Yeah.
I just did a video that kind of talked about that, and my thing is, as I've explained to, other game masters that are learning how to game master, it's like, just don't be married to your ideas, because like Dan said, your players, my players, sometimes it's funny because they'll start talking about stuff, and then one of them will catch on that they're talking in front of me. Because they'll talk about like different, and they're like, awesome. "Hey, would you shut up?" Because he's remembering everything we say, and he's probably writing it down, and they're 100% correct.
The guys from
I will use that later.
Are in Erudite's Discord. They're like, "We shouldn't talk about this. Dan's here," and I just sent the Grinch gif, and then they started talking anyway.
Dummies.
Yeah. I was running for kids once at a library. For something I got involved with, some guy was running, I think it was Kids on Bikes. I was running, and the kids, like, they ended up in this cave, and there was like a bunch of stalactites and stalagmites in there, and I kind of like drew it out like on the whiteboard, but so it kind of looked like a giant like mouth, with like teeth. And so they like were in this cave, and they were like they're like, oh, it looks like a huge mouth, like we've got to, like, they might try and close on us or something. And so like I had it start closing down on them and all that stuff. And they were like, kid that said it was like, what? Oh my God. Like, he was so like excited because he was like right, but also that it was happening and stuff. So, and that like wasn't even in my plan, but he was like, yeah, this is like a thing. I was like, yep, okay, that's real now. Teach you to come up with ideas. But yeah,
out loud.
Good times. No, it's fun. It's cool. It's good stuff.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Rooster says he's maybe guilty of giving you some devastating ideas.
Yep.
Yeah, it happens.
Edgelord, I know that you were saying hi to Mark, but I can only hear the guy's voice from the movie The Room. Oh, hi, Mark. And I'm assuming that's why you said that. I'm just going to make that assumption and be happy about it.
Could be. So, yeah. So good times. I think that was a good chat. Got a lot of stuff out there. As usual, 3 hours, right on topic.
Good.
Just focused discussion. I know, Dan, usually you're listening to us, so it'll be different on the replay. When you listen to it, you'll be like, holy shit, these guys are all over the place.
I was insane.
So,
you know what?
No, it's a good time.
If the one off-topic conversation is about Kate Beckinsale and Underworld, I'm there for that. So,
yeah, okay, yeah.
How wrong can you be?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, good times. So yeah, that was fun. So yeah. Other than that, CNY guys is coming up. So if you're going, we'll see you there. We'll see how it goes. Should be fantastic. Here's Vic's game.
That you don't play correctly.
Good show, even though Roger doesn't play my game correctly. Vic, I am playing it rules as written by you. All right. So I'm writing it. I'm playing it how you wrote it. So no, it's a good time, Vic. As always, it's great to see you in the chat. We'll get you on again sometime soon.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Talking about stuff, and whatever we'll figure out something to talk about. I'm sure, and get you on again. Absolutely, we'd love to have you. So, yeah, read the ancestry rule again. Oh God. You guys, really? Does it say in there not to give 2 rolls to a human? Out. Oh my God!
In his limited edition first printing with the border, no less.
That's right. This is the correct version.
Generally, all blacklight agents are assumed to be human. So this supplement does not require the selection of an ancestry when making your character. Just a class will suffice. However, some GMs may allow for non-human agents, perhaps recruited from strange but friendly civilizations encountered during the organization's many interdimensional missions. In this case, ancestry is used as normal, choosing any that the GM deems to be available. I don't know. That's a little vague and doesn't exactly say.
It doesn't say
because
don't
they don't
do it.
choose the human ancestry means that they don't get the extra rolls.
But I don't know, Roger on this one.
We have the author of the book with us, though. But
yeah, like I'll tell him he's wrong. I've told him he's wrong on stream before. So,
I said earlier, if you're going to give me another bonus, I will gladly take it.
Yeah.
What? I can shoot my 50 better? You got it.
Yeah. It doesn't. Yeah, right. It says that you don't have to use ancestry, which I guess technically means it says if you're human ancestry, right? In the Shadow Dark book, if you're human ancestry, you get 2 rolls on the table instead of 1. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, Vic. But I disagree, but whatever. I'm going to give it to him because I'm a friendly DM and I like to give my players bonuses.
Thanks, buddy.
How's that sound? So Jason knows I'm full of shit. But my nose is going to hit my microphone soon. All right. So guys, thanks everybody for coming. Dan, it was good to have you on. Thanks for joining us. We'll get you on again. I know you normally run on Tuesdays. You got a bunch of stuff going on, jumping around between several channels. Do you got a YouTube channel, right? It's Dan the Final Arbiter.
Mm-hmm. One day I'll make a video.
Yeah,
it's just all live streams.
Yeah, on other people's streams.
Well, technically, one's mine in that I'm DMing.
Oh, that's right.
Victoria. I mean, like it's Erudite's show, but like I'm
that one shows up on like 5 different streams, like usually for me pops up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's good stuff. That's like Mike's channel. Mike's channel is restreams of this live show. I think, Mike, have you put anything up?
Nope.
Yeah. Getting there.
My goal is just to get more subs than Jeff.
That's my goal too. So. it's a great goal.
Yep,
so, but yeah, and we'll see everybody here at CNY in a couple weeks. So awesome. 10 days, 9 days, whatever it is. So we'll see you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Please like, share, subscribe, all that, fun stuff. So I can get more subs than Jeff, and like, share, subscribe to everybody else. And he'll be mad when he hears that. And we'll see you guys. Hopefully next week, or at CNY, and we'll see you guys on the other side. Take care, everybody.
See you.
See y'all.
Bye. Bye.